Chapter 6039. So it seems very special. Jian Wushuang didn't think so. The power of his starry sky does not come from the starry sky they see, but from his own starry sky. At the beginning, he also stole the power of the starry sky, but after being targeted by a super strong, he dared not use it again. Later, it was only by condensing the source of the starry sky that he fully grasped it. If he guessed correctly, those Tianjiao who master the power of the starry sky, like him, are all borrowed powers. It is the same as the power of the source of ordinary practitioners. They all come from the origin of the universe, or the origin of time and space. It's just that those practitioners in the starry sky are originally part of the starry sky, and it is normal to cultivate the power of the starry sky. At the beginning, he could only use it to steal. Just like Gong Miaoye's father. The borrowed power, although powerful, is never his own. At that time, he was also fortunate enough to enter the starry sky through mental strength, and after mastering the pole, he delved into the power of the starry sky. Luck. This is the conclusion of Jian Wushuang. Bad luck, just like those dangerous places in the sky, turned into ruins. In the inner circle, they often encounter some Nian beasts. It's just that most of them are in the 6 tribulation realm, and the 7 tribulation realm is rare. Even the Nian beast in the 6 tribulations realm has more than 1 million divine powers, comparable to the ordinary 7 tribulations realm. Of course, the Lord of the Universe in the 7 tribulations realm would not be afraid of these Nian beasts. However, it is extremely difficult to kill these year beasts, and it is necessary to arrange a formation and ambush in advance. Just like fishing. It is extremely difficult for practitioners to walk here, and they all have a fixed route, but Nian Beast does not. The power of prohibition does not pose any threat to them, and they can escape as they wish. Practitioners have nothing to do with these Nian Beasts. It is also better to kill on the outside. Because the restrictions on the periphery were broken by the strong, and the protection of the restrictions was lost, although the strength of the beast was strong, it was not stronger than the siege of the practitioners. It's just that most of the Nian beasts on the periphery are in the 3 tribulations realm, and killing them is of little use. It is very difficult to encounter a 5 tribulation realm. These Nian beasts are indeed not simple, but they have lost the outer periphery. I am afraid that the restraining power of this inner periphery will be constantly broken. At that time, they will enter the core area to avoid. Wu's was stood in front of the sky, without any pity, and said indifferently, "The natural selection of things, this is their life, who makes my human race dominance." Good. Hui Qing said silently, but didn't say anything more. Even with his character, he thought Wu's was right. Jian Wushuang, let alone, felt that this was what they should do. Is it possible to treat the demon clan with respect? Stop talking. Not to mention the monster clan, just say the mechanical clan of metal life, that is the mortal enemy. All the monsters that were acquired were thrown towards the northern time and space. The difference is that they are treated as prey. Natural selection is just what the strong say. The real essence is that the strong eat the weak. This is the case when the north time-space faces the south time-space. They face these year beasts, the same is true. After several days of trekking, they finally came to the range of Moruo's space-time condensation. As soon as he entered this place, he found a Nian beast at the level of the 7 tribulations. Wuzwa took the lead. With just one palm, the Nian beast was beheaded. The divine body shattered instantly, leaving only the demon core. The demon core was the size of a fist. Wuzwa played with it in his hand, threw it to Jian Wushuang and said, "If you want to refine the beast magic weapon, you need this, and you need a lot. I have seen some casting masters in the world continent. There are also god-forging masters at the level of the 9 tribulations, but these god-forging masters are not real gods. It is very difficult to refine the treasures of the 9 tribulations. When the time comes, I will introduce you to the real forging in our northern time and space. He should be able to help you." "Thank you." Jian Wushuang took over the demon core and said with a light smile, "But I have to find the rest of the beast soldiers first." Qishan was really amazing back then, and he was able to refine such a powerful treasure. "Look at this one." Wu Zhuo took out a small centipede and said, "This is the eternal treasure that my master refined for me. I asked which casting to refine it for me, and it has reached the 9th robbery. Realm level, even he praised my master's casting level is not simple, unusual, comparable to those god-casting masters of the 9 tribulation realm. Refining treasures, in fact, does not depend on strength. Look at the method. If Qishan refines an eternal treasure and compares it with the Lord of the Universe, he can also win. Look at the quality of the treasure, not the so-called grade. On this point, Jian Wushuang admires which casting god. I really have to visit later. The realm is high. Now it is time to observe the relics left by Morwo's time and space. He accepted the demon core and took Wu Zhuo and others directly down the pyramid. Everyone, do you want to split up or walk together? He turned his head and glanced at the 3 behind him. Wu Zhuo saw the relics left by Mo Luo's time and space, and he couldn't help falling into the pitch-black ground. There were scars in his eyes, and he sighed, "I'll walk alone, I'll find you later. I'm not going with you either, just let me know when you leave." Wu Tian's face was cold and serious, he didn't say a word of nonsense, and left directly. When Huiqing saw this scene, there was no loneliness in his eyes, but he was very happy. Speaking of which, he is still a disciple of Tong Tian Buddha. It's also nice to see someone who once followed and who can transform himself to a new level. I didn't feel that there was any change in the Tong Tian Buddha who was transformed into a demon. If that's the case, then I'll wait for you with Huiqing in front of you. In the end, he and Huiqing went to the depths of Morwo ruins together. The 2 walked very slowly, exploring everywhere, trying to find something useful, or some traces left behind. It's a pity that the skin was too serious at the beginning. What was left was nothing but scorched earth. In the ruins, there are only some scattered fragments of the treasure. Jian Wushuang landed on a pillar that was still intact, picked up a piece of the treasure on the ground, and said sadly, "The treasure of the universe, it ended up like this. The treasure can still leave fragments, but those practitioners have left nothing. Wouldn't it be more pitiful?" The 2 walked all the way, exploring all the way. In the ruins of Morwo time and space, not even a Nian beast has been encountered. How sad. The time and space of Morwo once turned into a vast scorched earth, and there was nothing. What did Qishan think back then? Jian Wushuang looked up at the sky and fell into contemplation. I do not want to face the failure of transcending the calamity and destroy the entire Morwo time and space together, and have reached some kind of cooperation with the extinction. Chapter 60-40. He glanced at the scorched earth of the entire Morwo time and space. At the beginning, Qishan's strength was much stronger than he imagined. Half a step into the 8 tribulations realm is already very modest. Looking at these traces, at least it is comparable to the top of the 8 tribulations realm. Destroyed the entire Morwo time and space. Good. Huiqing put his hands together and said indifferently, "Brother Wushuang, the destruction of this place is related to devouring." No need for Huiqing's reminder, Jian Wushuang can also see it. If he simply destroys the long river of time and space, he can also do it, but the appearance after the destruction is by no means a piece of scorched earth. Grabbing a handful of scorched earth, he could see through the scorched earth that the remaining ashes should have been left by some kind of material force. If it is the destruction of divine power, I am afraid that nothing will be left in the entire Morwo time and space. Excluding Qishan and not cultivating divine power, he only follows the source route. Then the other party wants to destroy Morwo time and space, but also starts from the origin of time and space. Destroy the origin of time and space. Then the original Morwo time and space, when it was destroyed, was like the dryness of a vast ocean. Rootless water will slowly run out. What remains should also be a barren land, not a vast scorched earth. Qishan devoured this piece of time and space. Jian Wushuang put down the scorched earth. Still as he thought at first, the fall of Qishan is by no means so tragic, but has a purpose. Huiqing nodded in agreement, similar to his own thoughts, and then commented, "It should be for rapid growth, wanting to pull the seedlings and encourage growth, and the origin of his cultivation, the origin route he took, was probably to devour the origin of time and space, but he was unsuccessful. Backlash, and finally had to cut off his own swallowing avenue, and then prepared the Qixin temple and other funerals. This speculation, in Jian Wushuang's view, is reasonable. In their eyes, Qixin was already a villain. How could the villain abandon his own way and be unwilling to transcend the calamity? Delusion. Jian Wushuang shook his head and smiled bitterly. The original Qixin was really delusional. If you feel that you have swallowed the origin of time and space, you can become the master of time and space. In the Qixin temple, the realm described above the Lord of the Universe is vaguely the Lord of time and space. However, when Jian Wushuang arrived at the upstream time and space, he opened his eyes and found that things were not that simple. Above the Lord of the Universe, there are currently all kinds of gods. If you really want to say that the master of space and time, then it is the king of the realm. He controls the entire northern time and space. He is the only one who is the master of time and space. The remaining superpowers, whether they are those ancient existences in the northern time and space, or the practitioners of the world continent, are at most 9 tribulations realm. Further up the realm, he also does not know. The realm king did not mention it either. Maybe there's no limit to it. Beyond God? This Jian Wushuang dare not think about it. If he hadn't met Wes, he would have dared to speculate, but after meeting the monster of Wes, he felt that he couldn't surpass him at all. Follow the law. Said to let you transcend the calamity, you have to transcend the calamity. Said to erase you, you will die. How to go beyond this? You use divine power. Others are true gods. The power you use is given to you by others. Perhaps his pattern is small, and there should be a way to surpass it, but it is definitely not in the northern time and space. Now he didn't dare to think about it. I just feel that Qixin is a little sad. If he did not peep into the origin of time and space, perhaps Qixin could become the master of the universe in the 8 tribulations realm. Then go to the upstream time and space. After the vision is relaxed, maybe you can get the order of the world god, go to the world continent. You can also go beyond the 8 tribulations realm and reach the 9 tribulations realm. Even if you can't reach it, you can become an eternal existence. Just go to the northern time and space and wait for the birth of the god of life. Why be so obsessed with time and space, and finally make yourself split and fall? So much scourge left behind. For the desire for life, Qixin may be more persistent than destroying life. Let's go. After a sigh, Jian Wushuang decided to leave. This truth is what he expected. But it's also something I don't want to believe. There is a high probability that Qixin will still be crippled and crippled by death. The words that the figure said on the single-plank bridge at the beginning may be what Qixin said to Miesheng. The reason why the true spirit hates the way of devouring is also because the source consciousness of Qixin is at fault. From the deepest level of consciousness, they all hate swallowing. Then the 3 demon masters left by Qixin. Shan Jun, Gu Jun, Demon Jun. It is the evil incarnation of the Qi. It was also the one that destroyed Qixin's devouring avenue. The true spirit is so targeted because of Qixin's hatred. Brother Wushuang, do you want to inform Wuzhua? Hui Qing hesitated. If he told Wuzhua about their speculation, it would be difficult for the other party to accept it. Don't look at Wuzhua, who is somewhat yin and yang and not like a good person. From the appearance alone, he wears a Taoist robe all day, but shouts and kills, which is definitely not a good thing. But in the heart of the other party, Qixin has always been respected. This is also the charm of Qixin. So many people were willing to be buried with him. Qixin definitely has something outstanding. Even if it is a small person, it is the ultimate. Let everyone think he is a god. No need, he doesn't know the best thing about this matter. Let him wander around here alone. Let's go to the core to have a look. I just need some Nian Beast's demon core. He paused and then continued, if you are okay, you can also come with me. Okay. Hui Qing nodded in agreement. He has nothing to do, and he came here like Jian Wushuang to see how Qixin went to destruction in the first place. In the vast scorched earth, the two left together. Wutian is not as much as Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing thought. After finding nothing in the scorched earth, he has already entered the core land. Only Wu's was stood in front of a pillar, wiping tears silently. That pillar used to be the top pillar in a dojo. The dojo is naturally the dojo of Chishin. Thinking back to that time, he was listening to the sermon under this pillar. Although he was only a named disciple, after each sermon, Chishin would still transmit his voice to him with concern, and he would also inform him about some things he didn't understand. Now all is gone. When Morwa was at the peak of time and space, although it is respected by the Lord of the Universe. However, Chishin Temple is the Lord of the Universe externally, but internally it is the Emperor, caring for every emperor. This is also why, back then, there were so many emperors under Kishin's command, not the Lord of the Universe. Those closest to Chishin are always those emperors. 18 gods, 108 messengers, and those disciples. In the scorched earth, only Wuzhou was left, Jian Wushuang and others, and entered the core of the mysterious realm of Nian. The land of quicksand? Looking at the quicksand panting in front of him, he felt that this place was very interesting. In the quicksand, there are still some whirlpools. Chapter 6041. These vortexes can even drag the powerhouses of the 8 tribulations into them. But there is no threat to life, just trapped, and there are some strange restrictions under the quicksand. Therefore, even Yen beasts are rarely seen here. Yen beasts are only immune to bans, and quicksand is extremely dangerous for Yen beasts. After so many years, I am afraid that there will be many Yen beasts swallowed by this quicksand. He felt that even if those Yen beasts had higher wisdom than practitioners, none of them would not be swallowed. The quicksand is like a filter, a big net for screening the Nien beasts. The Nien beast in the 7 tribulations realm will probably be killed by the quicksand. But the Nien beasts in the 8 tribulations realm will not, and they are likely to be below. Because there are no restrictions, there is no danger under quicksand. Nature can also survive. And the powerhouses of the human race enter this place at most. It's so hard to get through this quicksand. At most, they were in the quicksand, looking for the treasures that had leaked out. And there are many more. Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing just observed for a moment and found some treasures leaking from the quicksand. There are herbs and various treasures. Shine brightly. It's just that the distance is very far, and the peak of the 8 tribulations does not dare to take risks. Jian Wushuang has the strength, but not that idle heart. Look down on these treasures. Hui Qing is the same. He helped the realm king a lot, and he probably won no less treasure than him. Let's go down. Jian Wushuang didn't hesitate and jumped directly into the quicksand. The huge suction force made his figure startled, and he almost fell from the air. The power of attraction surpasses the divine power of millions. But there is no need to directly cast super eternal transformation. Just in time and space in the middle reaches, he directly took out the beast magic weapon. The robbery armor on his body also began to operate. The basic divine power is 3 million, plus the 2 million of the robbery. The basic divine power is 5 million in an instant. Now there is no limit to the use of beast soldiers. The divine body can be increased at will. But the beast soldier has his own limit to him. Up to 10 times the power of the beast god. An increase of as much as 5 million. His power has also reached tens of millions. It just cancels the attraction force and can walk at will. As for Hui Qing, his basic divine power is 15 million. Entering the land of quicksand is as easy as walking without any threat. The divine aura on his body has not changed, just like an ordinary person. The power of the quicksand around them surrounded them and avoided them one after another. This is the aura of a strong man. An incomparably powerful strong man will condense this aura when he descends to a place. Jian Wushuang looked a little envious. It would be great if his basic divine power was 15 million. It's a pity that he is not in the 8 tribulations realm. Every time Hui Qing practiced, it seemed that there was no chance, or that it was indifferent, but it was often able to burst into a power that was difficult for ordinary people to comprehend. Especially the peak secret technique of the future body. Definitely the most powerful secret technique he has ever seen. It's on a par with his super eternity. As expected of a superpower who has mastered the way of heaven. Although Jian Wushuang was envious, he still asked with concern, Hui Qing, how is your understanding of that treasure? I'm ashamed to say it, but I only have a grasp of it. My own level is still a little low. Hui Qing was extremely modest and took out the chessboard and then said, I almost forgot, this chessboard can also play a little here. Oh! Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up, and he had long since looked down on Hui Qing's modesty. The other party said that he had a little grasp of it, but he definitely grasped most of it, so it's not surprising, but the chessboard can play a role here, which makes him somewhat surprised, but also with some curiosity. Try it, it's a bit embarrassing to say it, when I got it, I couldn't understand anything. This is also to be said by himself. When the Guantian chessboard is in his hands, his greatest achievement may be to find a successor for the Guantian chessboard. He himself got a robbery armor. As well as the pieces on the early Guantian chessboard, they only helped him a lot. But for the role of this chessboard, he has no clue at all. Hui Ming held the chessboard in his hand and whispered with his fingers, God will carry it. As soon as the voice came out, the huge phantom of the chessboard had already descended. Pieces of chess piece phantoms, holding various flags, are distributed around. The deity of Hui Qing became incomparably majestic, like a descending. The general obeys the order, and the 4 squares of time and space are inhabited. Follow your orders. The chess pieces from all sides folded their hands and clasped their fists one after another, and then staggered their positions in an orderly manner, placing the flags in their hands into the grooves of the chessboard. The land of quicksand also stopped at this moment. All the quicksand stopped. The power of attraction is also gone. This. Jian Wushuang widened his eyes and exclaimed, this chessboard can actually block time and space? Hui Qing nodded calmly and said, yes, you can maintain a space-time. On this chessboard, you can not only ban space-time, but you can also dispatch these pieces to fight. Move the pawns. This Jian Wushuang is not surprised, because he also had this idea at the beginning, but he would not use it. It will only use a stupid method, that is, to extract the origin of the chess pieces and refine them into puppets to help them fight. But in Hui Qing's hands, he was able to mobilize all the pieces. And it seems that these pieces should not be weak. The same division as before. God, handsome, general, soldier. He absorbed all the origins of these chess pieces at the beginning, and also used them to temper his origins and try to integrate them. Now it looks like it's not going the right way. Brother Wushuang, let these chess pieces guard here, and let's go down and take those Nian beasts together. Before Hui Qing could finish her words, she felt a shock. In the quicksand vortex, there is a powerful divine power surging. Jian Wushuang said in surprise, it's the Nian beast. After time and space stood still, the quicksand became a dead thing. Unable to flow, naturally there is no attraction. Those Nian beasts that were sucked under the quicksand were all madly going upstream in the vortex, trying to rush out. In this way, it also gave Jian Wushuang and the others a message. The following should be a dead end. If you can leave from other places, then these Nian beasts should not be so anxious. The next moment, the gravel of the vortex was washed away, and the Nian herd rushed out. 8 Tribulations Realm Year Beast Group? Jian Wushuang looked surprised. And it seems that each divine power surpasses tens of millions. Hundreds of them. If this rushes out of the mysterious realm of Nian, I am afraid that the entire middle reaches of time and space will be finished. Fortunately, these Nian beasts are only adapted to the mysterious realm of Nian. Otherwise it's a big disaster. But for Jian Wushuang, it is a rare treasure. The beast soldier disappeared from the body, and the blue aura on his body rose up. Chapter 6042. Super Eternal Change. He broke out directly, ready to make a big fight. But before he could mobilize the Yuanyuan dojo, Hui Qing stopped him. Brother Wushuang, don't be so troublesome. Jian Wushuang was a little embarrassed. Let's do it together. It's not like I can't deal with these wild beasts. No. Hui Qing shook his head and corrected, why don't you take action? He couldn't understand what Hui Qing meant, and said in surprise, no need to do anything? Yes. Hui Qing nodded, raised his finger to the chessboard and said, Listen to my orders. Jian Wushuang also followed. It was only then that he understood that Hui Qing wanted to use the pieces on the chessboard to deal with these Nian beasts. But that's a year of beasts. Each is in the 8 tribulations realm. These chess pieces, I am afraid it is difficult to withstand. After thinking about it, it might be that Hui Qing wanted to show his hand in front of him, but he didn't stop it. Then see how he manipulates it. If not, he will take another shot. You can't take the treasure by yourself. Let Hui Qing do the work alone. The 4 square pieces moved again. The chess pieces that suppress the time and space are all chess pieces. The chess pieces that appeared this time held a standard long knife in each hand, and the cold light flashed, boundlessly terrifying. Only then did Jian Wushuang discover that there was still a set of chess pieces. Moreover, these chess pieces have the breath of divine power and have no origin. The chess pieces of the soldier's name have a supernatural power of up to 5 million. The font size is as high as 10 million. But those handsome chess pieces, although rare, seem to be of higher rank, but have no divine power. He turned his head to look at the god-shaped chess piece. Still 3. But the divine power they contain has reached an infinite level. Can't see through. Jian Wushuang's face was full of surprise. I can't see through the chess pieces of the god's name. Hui Qing explained, Brother Wushuang, these godly chess pieces should be the incarnation of divine power, and I can't see it through. Avatar. Then Jian Wushuang understood. Originally, he thought that Hui Qing wanted to let the chess pieces of the general name fight to kill the Nian beast. But it will also be slow. Because the divine power is the same as the Nian beast. However, under the command of the handsome chess piece, the soldier chess piece was able to participate in the battle. And also able to do it with ease. The number of chess pieces is similar to that of Nian beast, but they can fight together. Don't look at Nian beast's high intelligence, but there is no way to combine attacks. This is also normal, because no one can threaten the 8 tribulation realm Nian beast. Therefore, there is no need for a combined attack method. In the entire middle reaches of time and space, there is no cultivator who can make them need to work together to deal with it. The practitioners encountered, they all fled everywhere when they saw them, and they didn't dare to provoke them at all. Unexpectedly, it was planted here today. Under the coordinated battle, the chess piece and the Nian beast had a draw. But the magical power of the chess piece will not dissipate, and I don't know why, but the more the battle, the stronger it is. Nian beast is incomparable. Now it is a draw, but it is also a loser. It's just a bit slow to lose. Jian Wushuang felt that it was almost the same. After watching this, it was enough to shock him for a while, and it was time to take action in person. Unexpectedly, Hui Qing stopped him again. Brother Wushuang, look again. Hui Qing raised his hand and pointed out that the chess pieces of the 3 gods began to emit dazzling rays of light. Light and shadow descended and landed on the gods of the pawn-sized pieces and the shogun-sized pieces. These chess pieces changed color in an instant. Become golden. When Jian Wushuang saw this place, he was shocked again. The golden divine power is of the same color as his current perfect divine power. His basic power is golden. This is no coincidence. The 3 chess pieces are really the embodiment of divine power. The chess piece that changed color suddenly surged in divine power. The chess pieces of the soldier's name, originally only 5 million in divine power, exploded to 10 million at this time. At this moment, the chess piece of the size will explode to 15 million divine power. The Nian herd was able to resist just now, but now it is being crushed. The Nian beast of the 108 tribulations was instantly killed. Ha! Jian Wushuang clutched his chest and said weakly, Hui Qing, what other means, use them together. He can accept anything now. Why did not show such a powerful power when watching the chessboard in the sky? Is it because he has not reached the 8 tribulations realm yet? If so, he would really regret it until his intestines were broken. After Hui Qing heard this, she smiled and shook her head. Jian Wushuang felt that there was no other role to play, so he breathed a sigh of relief. There are still some chess pieces in the chessboard. At present, what I have mastered is not very subtle, otherwise I can be faster. Looking at Hui Qing's harmless face, Jian Wushuang almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. In the end, he could only accept the demon core of those Nian beasts with hatred. This place is the core of the mysterious realm of the year. The Nian beasts of the 8 tribulations are basically here. He and Hui Qing broke the ban on the land of quicksand. Continue walking towards the core. The number of Nian herds is much more than they want. After arriving in a valley, I found a wonderful treasure. This treasure belongs to the auxiliary category. A source. The source of divine power. It was born on a tree. In order not to damage this tree during the battle, after Hui Qing suppressed the time and space, Jian Wushuang took it personally. Then used the chess pieces to besiege the Nian beast again. Haha, is the willow tree very lucky? Back then Wanlu Shenmu was so magical. After Jian Wushuang carefully put it away, he was in a good mood. He wants to get this willow tree into the Qiankuan Hall of the pyramid. At that time, sitting under the tree to practice, wouldn't it be more effective? Although the pyramid has the function of assisting in cultivation, it is only useful to metal beings, not to them. With this willow tree, he can even transmit the source of the willow tree to various cave houses. But then, there is no effect of cultivating under the tree. But it's almost there, better than nothing at all. This willow tree is indeed unusual. If it is a sect, it can be completely upgraded by a grade. Hui Qing couldn't help but sigh. Speaking of sect, Jian Wushuang really has this idea. If it is resolved, it will be destroyed. What about the inheritors in the Qi temple? You can't just leave the company in place. They still have a mission. Revive the brilliance of Qi temple. Let Qishan be great again. Looking at it now, Qishan is a joke. Greatness has also become a joke. But this momentum cannot be stopped. And they're ready to hide it. At that time, you can also use the reason of reviving the Qi temple to gather all the strong people together. Unify the downstream space and time, and then hit the midstream. Break the blockage of the long river of time and space. All the way to the upstream time and space. As for going to the world god continent, he had an idea, and there was a threat from Shilu, so he had to go. But for the north time and space in his hometown, he still has a lot of things to do. Chapter 6043. At first, I only felt that I wanted to imagine things, and they had to be done. Once the extinction of life is resolved, you can go to prepare one by one. After killing the beasts of those years again, the two also rested for a while. Wu Zue and Wu Tin both gave them a voice transmission, gave each other the coordinates, and waited for the two to come to reconcile. As for the pyramid, it has long been put away by Jian Wushuang. It's just that no one wants to come out. Everyone is cultivating hard, and no one wants to waste time. Same goes for Jian Wushuang. He collected these demon cores in order to refine his beast soldiers in the future. It's just that after entering the mysterious realm of Nian, I want to collect those beast soldiers, but I don't have the slightest clue. Ordinarily, he should also feel the power of the beast gods in the time and space of the mysterious realm of Nian. But there is no sense. There is a high probability that it has been obtained by other practitioners. Or completely destroyed. Not even a trace of the origin remains. Brother Wushuang, you too are quite capable of running, and you have entered so deep. Wu Zue, who came first, just landed. He couldn't help but exclaimed, "This year's mysterious realm is really strange. The scene in the core place is the same as the splicing. It's really uncomfortable." This sentence caught Jian Wushuang's attention. Splice. Only then did he think of the dangerous places he encountered along the way. It's exactly what Wu Zue said. Some places are very obvious. One step away is the sea of fire. Half a step back is the ice field. You guys are waiting here for Wu Tian. He'll go ahead and take a look. Jian Wushuang thought of this and set off immediately. The figure kept flashing, and he was able to break through the restrictions he encountered so far. Boom! Breaking the ban all the way, directly entered the border outside the valley. It's a barren land. Not to mention treasures, not even a breath. He stepped in. Look at the connection. Lost in thought. Molo's time and space is in the southeast direction, too. His eyes flashed and he found something strange. Originally thought that the mysterious realm of Nien was formed by the entire Morua time and space, but after arriving at the core, I found that it was not so simple. Morua time and space are only part of the mysterious realm of Nien. And the location is not right. The original Morua time and space is not here either, but in a dry river of time and space. The mysterious realm of Nien seems to have an attraction, attracting all the secret realms to merge into one, for those Nien beasts to survive. Thinking of this, his thoughts were wide open and continued to spread towards the depths. When he got to a certain place, he stopped, because the power of prohibition there exceeds 20 million. Sure enough, his brows moved and his mind power was withdrawn. As soon as he touched the restraint, he realized that the force of restraint was somewhat different from what he had encountered. Because of that restriction, it was as if it had just appeared. And the ban also isolates time and space. In the core of the mysterious realm of the year, there is definitely some kind of secret hidden. Just want to enter, but there is great danger. He suspects that in the deepest part, there is a Nien beast who has mastered the secret method of practitioners. Otherwise, it is impossible to block time and space. Pyramids are impenetrable. They want to get to the core, difficult. Jian Wushuang returned to the canyon here, and Wu Tian just arrived. A group of people did not find that a dark eye was always staring at their direction and route. And around them, those various dangerous places are constantly changing. It's like a puzzle, constantly moving. After Wu Tian came, he even said that according to the route given by Jian Wushuang, he encountered a thunder canyon, but Jian Wushuang did not encounter it. Everyone could not help but sweat coldly behind their backs. Jie Jie, a crow stood on the top of the tree, raised its head and screamed, as if mocking everyone. The existence who manipulated all this was able to see the actions of Jian Wushuang and others through the crow. In the deepest part of the mysterious realm of Nien, in a dark forest. In the dark forest, there is not a trace of light to be seen. In the depths of the forest, there is a cave. The crows flew out from here, monitoring the mysterious realm of the whole year. At this time, a Nien beast with the perfect level of the 8 tribulations was cautiously walking out of the cave. After entering the cave, there was only a trace of light. These light sources all came from the shrunken red eyeballs on the walls of the cave. If you look closely, you can see that the owner of these eyeballs is a crow. Nien beast stopped after entering the depths of the cave, and said in a hoarse voice in a language unique to Nien beast, "King, they are still going to move forward. Let Nien Lu send another group of Nien beasts to lead them into the Flame Mountain." The existence known as the king, through the red light source, leaked a trace of flame power, but could not see any face. After hearing this, Nien beast turned around and left without any hesitation. Send another team of Nien beasts? You're 6? Jian Wushuang still doesn't know. Their route has long been manipulated, like a marionette. In fact, after they found out that something was wrong, they were all ready to leave. Because the mysterious realm of the year is not within their grasp. And there is no shortage of treasures. No need to take risks. Who is the king of the mysterious realm of the year? But I don't know, because of his superfluous actions, he has brought himself a big trouble. Brother Wushuang, let's go now. Listening to what you said, I also think this place is gloomy and a little scary. Wu's shrank his neck, and his courage suddenly became smaller. Jian Wushuang broke the branch in his hand and stood up. Go now. He also felt a sense of being stared at, but he couldn't find that person. Definitely more powerful than them. It's really dangerous to carry it here. It's better to slip away earlier. Anyway, the demon core obtained is enough. Hui Qing took a deep look into the distance. He couldn't see any difference. He just felt that there was a danger around them. It's really good to leave. Humph. Wu Tian objected to their approach and said coldly, "A small secret realm will scare you into this appearance, and it's ridiculous to say that everyone is facing the northern time and space." Wu's left face turned red. Yu was reading www. Hurriedly retorted, "If you are bold, just go forward, I want to accompany you." "Okay, let's go first." Jian Wushuang directly took out the pyramid for the sake of safety. Prepare to take everyone on the pyramid to leave. This also avoids the damage of the first wave of sneak attacks. After everyone went to the pyramid, they did not return according to the original path, but according to the route of Babata. They prepared to leave the core of the mysterious realm of Nien first. After you get out of the core, make plans. But there is no plan. If you leave smoothly, you will go straight to the downstream time and space. The pyramid broke the ban all the way, and wanted to leave the mysterious realm of the year according to the nearest route. Chapter 6044. Jian Wushuang also stood in front of the sky because he was worried, observing the situation outside. As soon as he moved his thoughts, he felt a huge aura. Just in the ban in front, before he waited for his system, the pyramid rushed in at a superb speed. Careful, boom. The pyramid slammed hard against the restriction, but only shattered a small gap. But the pyramid still followed the gap and directly entered the world within the restriction. From the outside world, inside the ban is a green grassland, but after entering the ban, they found out that this place is a grassland, and this is a sea of fire. There is also a towering mountain, constantly spewing flames. It's a group of Nien beasts. Jian Wushuang let out a sigh of relief when he found that there were Nien beasts active on the top of the flame mountain. However, there is an unusual aura in this group of Nien beasts. The rest also noticed this. Wu's was said in surprise, the 8 tribulations realm is complete. 18 million divine powers. Among the Nien beasts, there is a Nien beast with a high generation crown, standing on the top of the flame mountain with its head held high. This is still the strongest Nien beast that Jian Wushuang has encountered. It has 18 million divine powers. It is stronger than the 8 tribulations realm consummation. It is no longer comparable to the beast god. This is the living beast god. Jian Wushuang was also a little hot. But that threat is still around. He didn't dare to move. Not afraid of danger, but afraid of delaying time. Their purpose is to return to the downstream spacetime. Not a stopover. And everyone has no shortage of treasures. That's why he himself needs the beast core of Nien beast. Don't let this little thing affect the big thing. Forget it, I'm afraid it will take some time to solve him, let's go. Brother Wushuang, give me a stick of incense, and I can help you solve it. Hui Qing's eyes were filled with fighting intent. Obviously, he wanted to help Jian Wushuang take down the Nien beast. Hui Qing and Wu Zhuo know the most about the beast soldiers. Knowing how helpful this is for Jian Wushuang. At this time, Wu Zhuo also wanted to know some of Hui Qing's combat power again, so he persuaded, Brother Wushuang, don't hesitate, killing a Nien beast leader is just a matter of raising your hand, you don't want to. I'm nervous, it won't take long. TSK, the threat you mentioned, shouldn't it be this Nien beast? Wu Tian also sneered on the side. I think they were too careful. Some cup bow snake shadow meaning. If you encounter a little threat, you will be frightened. Jian Wushuang's thoughts moved, he felt the surroundings, and wanted to investigate. After finding that there was no difference, he lowered his vigilance, feeling that there was nothing that could fill him, and the feeling of being stared at, as if after entering this place, just disappeared. Okay. He nodded to Hui Qing, be careful. Hui Qing is full of self-confidence, don't worry. As soon as his figure moved, he left the pyramid. Appeared again, but 2 Hui Qings appeared in the sky. Future body. The last time I was in Taiga Heitian, Wu Zhuo and Wu Tian were too far away to see it carefully. After seeing it this time, it gave them a great impact. The divine power exceeds 20 million. Wu Zhuo couldn't help exclaiming. Wu Tian stood aside, clenched his fists, gritted his teeth and said, how did he cultivate to be able to create such a heaven-defying secret technique? 23 million divine power. Jian Wushuang also swallowed, surpassing the limit of life. This is a bit out of the ordinary. After the divine power reaches 20 million, the laws of the northern time and space will be suppressed. Hui Qing on the flaming mountain was also a little surprised. He only used half of his future body, and he was able to burst out 230,000 divine powers. There seems to be no restrictions on him here. Nor did he feel the suppression from the northern time and space. This made his brow furrowed. However, it was still quick to shoot, and the entire flaming mountain was smashed into pieces with just one punch. The Nian beast was also extremely surprised. It was sent by the king to attract cultivators. I thought those cultivators would hurriedly leave when they saw him. I didn't expect these people to be so brave. Moreover, the head of the white-robed monk in front of him can be so powerful. One punch smashed the entire flaming mountain. The sky was suddenly filled with red fireballs, constantly bombarding the earth. Wang Yuan is not his opponent. Nian Lu was completely panicked. Want to leave with the help of a ban. But the current Hui Qing is too powerful, and in the future, he already has the combat power of the Nine Tribulations realm. Looking at Nian Lu who was about to escape, he pointed out and killed Nian Lu directly. Only one demon core remained. In the pyramid, Jian Wushuang and the others have huge mouths. After seeing Hui Qing's terrifying means, cold sweat leaked from his forehead. Luckily it's my own. If the opponent is so strong, they will not have their lives to escape. Snapped. Hui Ming took a breath and directly inhaled the demon core in the sky into his hand. The future body also disappears. Only the deity was left to enter the pyramid. Hui Qing, you are able to break the limitations of the northern time and space. Your future life is really not easy. Jian Wushuang couldn't help but admire. His super-eternal transformation uses the power of the starry sky, which should be able to break this rule, but the power used by Hui Qing is not the power of the starry sky. It can even break through the limitations of this time and space. After Hui Qing stood up, he showed a puzzled expression like everyone else, and then shook his head. I don't know why I was able to break the boundary all of a sudden. I couldn't break the boundary at all in the past, and I just used half of my power just now. I didn't expect to be able to reach the power of 23 million. Half. Jian Wushuang and the others took a deep breath again. It's so scary. Half as strong. The prosperity of this future body, I am afraid it can break 30 million. That is, double the base power. It is the same as Jian Wushuang's super-eternal change. Heaven-defying secret method. This time Wu Zhuo calmed down first, interrupted everyone quickly, waved his hand and said, wait, could it be that this place is not restricted by the northern time and space, so Hui Qing can easily break it? Hui Qing's eyes moved, nodded and said, I think so too. There is only one possibility. It is too difficult to break the boundaries of time and space. First of all, the northern time and space has restrictions, and the limit of divine power that life can carry is in the early 20s. You can press the line, but absolutely cannot break it. If it is really broken, it is the legendary one force breaking all methods. Hui Qing was able to break the restrictions so easily just now. Obviously it was not a one-shot effort. Because of this place. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang licked his lips. Swish. His figure rushed out directly. In the apocalyptic scene, he raised his head and shouted angrily, clenching his fists with both hands. Divine power exploded in an instant, constantly rising. Chapter 6045. 3 cosmic dojos are coming at the same time. Super-eternal change. He clenched his teeth, thinking of exploding his divine power to the limit, to see if he could also explode his divine power beyond the limit here. The basic divine power plus the robbery armor directly came to 5 million. The super-eternal change has doubled, which is 15 million. The dojo increased by 60%. It is an increase of 9 million divine power. My super-eternity has really reached the level of perfection. The arc from the divine aura is extremely powerful, and it can easily pierce the entire time and space. Divine power has also reached an astonishing 24 million. Time and space are shaking. He can now easily shatter the entire year of mystery. Jian Wushuang felt it, unprecedentedly powerful. Everyone is extremely comfortable. This was the first time he had such a perfect outburst. If it is under normal circumstances, his divine power can reach 18 million, even if the super-eternity has reached the perfection level. He can only be a super strong opponent with 20 million divine powers. Now it can explode perfectly, reaching 24 million divine powers. In the pyramid, except for Hui Qing, everyone else was extremely surprised. surprised by the strength of Jian Wushuang. It can easily surpass 20 million. Jian Wushuang, he can do it. Wu Tian gritted his teeth and stared at Jian Wushuang outside, feeling unprecedented pressure. That breath was enough to suppress them. Wu Zuo was surprised by the magic of this place. It is not controlled by the northern time and space. There is definitely a big secret here. Hui Qing's eyes narrowed slightly. What was even more surprising than those of them was the dark forest that came from the core of the mysterious realm of Nian. Witch King took a deep breath when he saw that Hui Qing's divine power surpassed 20 million, and then found out that Jian Wushuang's divine power also surpassed 20 million, and he couldn't sit still any longer. Notify Nian Jiao, besiege these people and eradicate them at any cost. In the dark cave mansion, there was a gust of gloomy wind. A first-year beast, dispatched in the dark, only leaked his eyes. The divine power of each Nian beast exceeds 20 million. It has absorbed the power of the abyss for so long, and now is the time to get rid of them. The huge face on the throne showed a hint of disgust, and said viciously, "Damn humans, since they have discovered the specialness of this place, they will all die." Countless crows flew out of the cave. The king in the shadow also left the cave. In order to be safe, he still had to go there in person. Because Hui Qing and Jian Wushuang have huge potential, and there is no restraint in this place, he is afraid that these people still hide their strength. Must go out in person. The king in the mysterious realm of the year. He is also the king of the Nian herd. God of the year. Flaming Mountain has been completely destroyed. At this time, Jian Wushuang and the others were still amazed at the specialness of this place, and they didn't know that they had provoked a special powerhouse to come. Now Jian Wushuang is still thinking about whether to change his strategy. He now wants to stay and find out. Isolate the northern time and space, and exert more than 20 million divine powers. He took a deep breath and said a bold idea. "Everyone, this place is very important. Do you want to fight again?" Fight. Wu Tian took the lead in standing up, and he was incomparably approved. He also tried to explode with all his strength just now, and his divine power could reach 15 million. This has reached the perfection level of the 8 tribulations realm. But he is still the master of the 7 tribulations realm universe. With such a big opportunity, why not fight for it? Wu Zuo's face was gloomy. He knew a lot and naturally thought a lot. "Brother Wushuang, don't you want to get it?" Wu Zuo didn't finish his words, but the meaning was very clear. No one is a fool. This place can break through the restrictions of the northern time and space. So can they get this ability or spread it? Thinking of Nian mysterious realm constantly absorbing the surrounding secret realms, it has become a time-space secret realm. The size is comparable to a huge time-space river. If the Nian mysterious realm covers the entire northern time and space, then there is no need to wait for Danbao to improve the life level of northern time and space, and it will be able to reach the perfect level directly, and will also be able to give birth to the 9 tribulations realm. No matter how bad it is, they will take this place for their own use in the future. Are they invincible here? Of course, first of all, you must first master the mysterious realm of the entire year. Then attach this special power to the individual. If the enemy also reaches the mysterious realm of the year, there is no restriction. Everyone is the same. At this moment, Jian Wushuang also thought about it a lot, but finally settled on an idea. "Wu Zuo, have you ever thought that if you move the special features of this place to your own origin dojo, aren't we directly invincible and truly swept across the northern time and space?" Jian Wushuang became more excited as he spoke, pointing downstream. "Destroy, you don't know the threat of life. Even if we have reached today's realm, it is very difficult to go back to deal with destroying life. If you can get the secrets of this place, what is the meaning of destroying life? This is not to scare to deal with. The threat of extinction is really big." When he left the Qi Temple, the other party had already transformed into the Temple of Destruction. This is similar to Dan Bao's incarnation of the Immortal Temple. Dan Bao is transformed into an immortal temple, but he can easily suppress Qi Jiuxiao. In case they can do it even if they destroy life, they are also courting death when they go back to this realm now. But Wu Zuo was still a little hesitant, because this violated the laws of the northern time and space, and he was still a direct disciple of the Realm King. Now following Jian Wushuang to fight things outside the northern space-time law, it does make him have some scruples. At this time, Huiqing took the initiative to persuade him, "Brother Wuzhua, this place is also the northern time and space. We may eradicate this place, maybe it is a matter of merit." After he finished speaking, he nodded at Jian Wushuang, obviously agreeing with Jian Wushuang's ideas and practices. 3-1, then there's nothing to say, if you don't do it, you don't see it. Jian Wushuang didn't bother to persuade any more, so he gave an ultimatum. In fact, what Huiqing said also makes sense. Isn't exploring this place to solve the trouble for the North Time and Space? Do not explore, is leaving now and informs the king, the other party may not have any way. It's time to rely on them. I don't know what happened to Wuzhua, but suddenly he became cautious. Maybe it's really about the common people. Feeling that such a big thing, not telling the real king in advance is not going to go away. But he also has his own ideas. Wuzhua heard that he was going to be dismissed, and said quickly, "I agree, I didn't say I disagree. It's just that no matter what the outcome of this matter is, we have to report the matter here to the Realm King, Wushuang brother, we are after all practitioners, only consider their own strength, not the safety of the entire northern time and space." Brother Wuzhua is right, I agree with this. Huiqing nodded in agreement. Chapter 6046. Jian Wushuang squinted and stared at Wuzhua, the atmosphere condensed. Seeing Jian Wushuang's terrifying eyes, Wuzhua was taken aback, and he quickly stepped back and said, "Brother Wushuang, this is a small matter, you are not trying to kill people." Snapped. Jian Wushuang took a step forward, came to Wuzhua, stared at the other party's eyes, his voice was extremely cold, and said to Wuzhua, "I can't believe that your pattern is so big now." After frightening the opponent, he put away his gloomy face and then said, "I agree with this matter, and I will tell the real king later." After hearing this, Wuzhua breathed a sigh of relief. Babata turned the direction and set off towards the core of the mysterious realm of the year. "I want to cross the mysterious realm of the whole year." As soon as the voice fell, the pyramid broke through time and space, as well as those restrictions, and rushed in the opposite direction. It's just that they also know that the direction may not be what they say. If you look for it, you may not find it. Therefore, Jian Wushuang and Huiqing destroyed the restrictions in various places all the way. In this way, the core place of Nian mysterious realm could no longer operate, and the route was naturally opened. They don't know that even if they fly around, they can meet the operator behind all this. Because the year god has quietly descended. Go! Boom! The pyramid that was traveling through time and space encountered a towering Nian beast head-on, and was directly slapped and flew out. The divine power shown just now is definitely beyond the 20 million divine power. Jian Wushuang was also taken aback. The pyramid flew out uncontrollably, crashed into several dangerous places, and then stopped steadily. To take the initiative, it will save the people who are looking for it. He was not surprised by the divine power that the Nian beast burst out. Huiqing and him left the pyramid in an instant. Wu Yan and Wuzhua stayed in the pyramid. Because of this level of battle, the two cannot participate. Huiqing, don't reveal your true combat power, it seems that they have been eyeing us for a long time. Jian Wushuang's voice transmission reminded. The Nian beast in the distance was also staring at them. It just didn't shoot again, and the figure didn't move. This made Jian Wushuang a little surprised. At this time, Huiqing's eyes flashed and he made an astonishing discovery. Brother Wushuang, something is not right. Although these beasts have different powers, I can feel that their life level is the same. Along the way, he killed so many Nian beasts, and Huiqing knew this very well. Jian Wushuang also raised his brows and used his mind power to actively investigate. No difference was found. Is it different from those ordinary Nian beasts in the periphery? That does not mean that the life level of the Nian beast does not change, but the divine power can change. This is impossible. Jian Wushuang quickly took out 2 demon cores. One was the one that Huiqing beheaded in the Flame Mountain. The other is a demon core obtained in the field of quicksand. The two were originally very different. But after arriving here, he found that the two demon cores were no different, and they contained the same power. That is to say, the power of Nian Beast does not depend on the power of divine power, but on the terrain. In a special area, they will become more powerful. The Nian Beasts on the periphery are all the combat power of the 3 Tribulations realm and the 4 Tribulations realm. But the inner circle has the combat power of the 7 Tribulations realm. Not because of their individual strength, but the location. If the Nian Beasts are all at the core, then they are the combat power of the 8 Tribulations realm. It's so amazing, no wonder. He still underestimates these Nian Beasts. At present, he can see that the core of Nian's mysterious realm should be controlled by someone or an alien powerhouse. Otherwise, they will not be besieged. Tikiske, I was still thinking, there is a herd of Nian Beasts at the level of the 8 Tribulations realm. Why don't they go directly to the periphery to guard the Nian mysterious realm? After they reach the periphery, their strength will not work. Jian Wushuang moved his wrist and felt this thing is getting more and more interesting. This place is roughly the core of the entire Nian mysterious realm, but not the center. In other words, if you go further, the Nian beasts you may encounter will be stronger, even surpassing 30 million divine powers. Just like Qi Jiuxiao in Wanlu Shenmu back then. It's just that they are not the same as before. Jian Wushuang flicked his wrist and said loudly, "Leave this Nian beast to me." As soon as his voice fell, the breath on his body began to rise. The figure flashed, shattered the time and space, and appeared directly in front of the Nian beast. Under the full blast, the divine power surpassed 20 million, without any restraint. Incredibly fun. Standing in front of Nian beast, although his divine body has transformed into his own appearance, it is majestic. But still one head lower than Nian beast. Gulu! Nian beast's eyes also contained wisdom. Feeling the majestic divine power of Jian Wushuang, his heart sank. Jian Wushuang bowed his head and smiled, his arms suddenly raised, his fists clenched, and he dashed into the form of a dragon. The blue divine power filled the entire space. The double fist turned into a dragon, directly smashing the Nian beast into the sky. He didn't give the opponent a chance to breathe, he raised his leg again and kicked Nian beast's head fiercely. This blow directly cracked the opponent's divine body. Under such a heavy blow, Jian Wushuang still did not relax. His hands continued to gather divine power, and 2 blue bursts of air flew out of his hands. What? The attacks of the 2 groups of divine power reached the peak, and they hit Nian Beast's divine body firmly. Directly smashed the opponent's divine body. This Nian Beast, with more than 20 million divine powers, was unable to fight back under his attack. He himself felt a little unreal. Be careful! At this time, Hui Qing in the distance seemed to have discovered something and hurriedly shouted at him. Before Jian Wushuang could react, he felt that the divine body was bound by a pair of arms. I wanted to turn around to check, but I couldn't move my body at all. He was shocked. It's the Nian Beast. It was the Nian Beast who rushed behind him while he was relaxing, holding him tightly. He still didn't understand what it was about. Hui Qing rushed over in a hurry and reminded loudly, "He's going to pull you and blow yourself up." Blow up, with more than 20 million divine power, was easily shattered by him, and it didn't seem scary. But if the supernatural power of more than 20 million is self-destructed, that's no joke. In the mysterious realm of the year, without the restraint of the divine power of life, it can explode the divine power exceeding 20 million. But this kind of him belongs to unplugging the seedlings. Divine power went up, but neither the secret method nor the treasures kept up. I want to resist the self-destruction of more than 20 million divine powers. Relying on the divine body alone is not enough. There must be an absolutely powerful treasure. His mind was running fast, thinking about it, as if there was no life-saving treasure on his body. Chapter 6047. Also, robbery armor can be used. However, the current robbery armor has increased by 2 million basic divine power, and the defensive ability has a maximum limit of 20 million. The Nian beast behind it has a divine power exceeding 20 million. Damn it! Jian Wushuang turned his head with difficulty, and before he could think of a countermeasure, a dazzling light erupted from behind and reflected on his cheek. Boom! A huge cracking sound directly rushed the rushing back into the distance. The mysterious realm of the whole year trembled for 3 points. The area where they were located began to collapse, but it did not collapse. After Hui Qing discovered this, he was also startled. The structure of the Nian mysterious realm made them more and more curious. To be able to fully explode divine power, the level of life is obviously higher than that of the northern time and space. However, the mysterious realm of Nian is located in the middle reaches of the northern time and space. Realm King. Will he know? It's just that it's not the time to think about it. The self-destruction just now was too powerful. Hui Qing tentatively shouted, "Brother Wushuang?" Seeing that there was no movement, his heart sank, and he was really afraid that Jian Wushuang would fall. As soon as the divine power moved, the smoke and dust around it instantly returned to 1 point. The smoke and dust disappeared, and the ground was long gone. But in a collapsed void, Jian Wushuang's body curled up in a ball, motionless. The pyramid also flew over at this time, after seeing Jian Wushuang below. Wu Zhuo flew out directly. "Brother Wushuang? He won't die." Wushan's expression was also a little embarrassing. Although he fell into the devil's way, his relationship with Jian Wushuang was not ordinary. The bottom of my heart is still more worried about Jian Wushuang's comfort. Jian Wushuang's curled body trembled, then turned around and turned his back. "Ha!" He gasped heavily and said in a worrisome voice, "I'm not dead yet." Seeing that they could still move, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The three hurried away. Hui Qing held the power of life in his hand and began to help Jian Wushuang restore his origin. Wu Zhuo took out some treasures for repairing the divine body and handed them to Jian Wushuang. Wu Tian was on the side, looked left and right, and found that he had nothing worth taking out, so he took out a pot of wine. Cough, cough. Jian Wuduo was pale, covered his mouth and coughed a few times, then took the jug and took a sip. It was just too dangerous. Almost, he couldn't take it anymore. Fortunately, the robbery finally broke out. Help him carry it off. Otherwise, what is left here should be a corpse. That Nian beast. Jian Wushuang took a breath and continued, "It was definitely being manipulated. I can feel that he has a strong desire to survive, but in the end he chose to self-destruction. I am afraid that at the core of the mysterious realm this year, someone is secretly plotting against us, and they don't want us to go deeper." Hui Qing also nodded and said what he reasoned. "What?" Wu Zhuo exclaimed, "How is this possible? These Nian beasts have the same life and divine power, depending on the terrain. Doesn't that mean that at the very core, there may be a group of Nian beasts with more than 20 million divine powers?" Yes. After Jian Wushuang completely recovered his divine power, he stood up and took a jug. After taking a sip, he said to the crowd, "We are here, and the core is likely to face a group of Nian beasts with more than 20 million divine powers." Although Wushan's character is sinister and vicious, he is also a little scared, and said excitedly, "Then we still have to go? What's the picture?" He didn't understand a bit. If you want to find out why the level of life in this place is so high, the price is a bit high. Gucci might as well leave first. This has not yet encountered the Nian herd. Just a Nian beast with more than 20 million divine powers. Almost let Jian Wushuang explain it here. They really don't have to be so risky. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, shook his head and said, "I'm afraid it will be difficult to leave now." His eyes looked towards the darkness ahead, where was a whole forest. Dark forest. The area just now is next to the dark forest. He guessed that that place is likely to be the core of the Nian mysterious realm. It is also the place where the mysterious realm of the year is manipulated. Who is it? His heart trembled slightly, and after thinking for a while, he couldn't think of anyone who had such a great ability to create this secret realm, and can also be manipulated. I am afraid that the person behind it is not a strong man in the northern time and space. Most likely from other time and space. Just like Wanlu Shenmu. The original Wanlu Shenmu was brought by Weiss. Then, in the Wanlu Shenmu, there is also a brain of wisdom from a mechanical family. That is metal life. This one is from the southern time and space. There is also Shilu, also from the southern time and space. Could this place also come from the southern time and space? Nan Shikong has been targeting them. He had to think about it. If that's the case, then this time the trouble is really big. No less than the threat in Wanlu Shenmu. It's just that last time they had Danbao's bottom line. This time no one came to save them. It is useless to rely on the body of a mortal, the so-called tens of millions of divine power. The other side can create such a sky-defying area that has been mysterious for years. They don't even need to guess to know that the other party definitely has the means to threaten their lives. If there is no day, he has not considered it. Only when they really learned about it did they realize that they had no choice. Everyone followed his gaze to the dark forest. There seems to be an ancient desolate beast coiled around, giving them an invisible pressure. Everyone, think about it clearly, this may be the only chance in this life. Jian Wushuang turned his head and glanced at the three, explaining the importance of this matter. If they control the Nian mysterious realm, they can really walk sideways in the future. Whatever destroys life, you can destroy the opponent by returning to the downstream. Of course, the premise is that the extinction of life cannot be free from constraints. What they are looking for is the kind that can make their own divine power unfettered, in this way, can perfectly suppress death. Wu Tian gritted his teeth. I can't participate in this kind of battle, it all depends on your decision. Brother Wu Zhua, you take the pyramid and leave the Nian mysterious realm first, and Hui Qing and I will go out. He also knew that the rest of the people couldn't help this time. If you go together, don't give each other another pot. Wu Zhua was a little hesitant. Otherwise, let's keep the pyramid for you. No need. Hui Qing said at this time, the strength needed inside the pyramid is simply not enough to sustain this kind of battle. Jian Wushuang nodded and said firmly, stop talking, you leave first and leave the rest to us. At this time, Wu Tian seemed to have thought of something and said in surprise, Destiny, is it really that powerful? If it wasn't for the threat of annihilation, he really couldn't imagine why Jian Wushuang would work so hard. Chapter 6048. Perhaps. Jian Wushuang didn't completely break it, and destiny was powerful, but only Wu Zhua and him really understood. Wu Zhua learned about it from the Realm King, and he witnessed it in Wanlu Shenmu. In fact, he has the most say. The divine power that erupted from the incarnation of the great monk was absolutely beyond everyone's imagination. God in the sky. Not even the king of the realm. In the end, it was Weiss' move to solve it. Although the destruction of life in the downstream time and space is bound by divine power, but still can't relax. The other party's temple of destruction is a divine weapon. If there is a chance to improve himself, Jian Wushuang can't wait to reach the Nine Tribulations realm now, and then deal with destruction. So this time, after discovering something strange in the mysterious realm of Nian, he wanted to explore. The stronger one is, the greater the hope of dealing with death. Therefore he cannot give up. This is indeed the only chance. They will soon return to the downstream time and space, and there is not much time left for them. Ha! Wu Zhua sighed and said solemnly, take care, don't force it. After he finished speaking, he took Wu Tian and left resolutely. The two of them rode on the pyramid with everyone who didn't know it and wanted to leave the core. Watching the pyramid disappear into his eyes, Jian Wushuang said, now it's our turn to take action. For the pyramids to leave the Nian mystical realm, they must attract the one in the core. Otherwise, the pyramid will definitely be intercepted. This is also the reason why he wants Wu Zhua to take the pyramid away. There are pyramids, at least there are means to save lives. Their divine power did not exceed 20 million. In fact, Jian Wushuang's own divine power has not reached 20 million. It's just that when he crossed the tribulation, he tempered the golden divine power. Breaking 100 strengths with one force will give you the strength you have today. The two stepped into the void and rushed towards the direction of the dark forest. Dark forest. Inside the mysterious cave. Let's split up. The face behind the throne revealed a look of surprise, and said indifferently, are you afraid? Below the throne, there are 3 figures. These 3 can be said to be the kings of Nian beasts. Don't look at Nian beasts, don't look at life level and divine power. But they have a very complete bloodline inheritance. The 3 Nian beasts standing under the throne are the Nian beasts with the purest bloodlines in the entire Nian mysterious realm. It is no exaggeration to say that they are beast gods. And it's an ancient beast god. However, these 3 beast gods with extremely pure bloodlines seemed timid when facing the existence above the throne. He didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The cave master, what should I do now? The 3 beast gods carefully asked for their opinions, with fear in their eyes. This fear does not come from Jian Wushuang and others, but from the cave master on the throne. You must know that Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing both have supernatural powers that can surpass 20 million. If you are not in the dark forest, you can completely torture them. But even so, they are not afraid. Not even afraid of death. Just like the previous one, he directly chose to self-destruct. Not afraid of death, but afraid of the cave master above the throne. This situation is very strange. If outsiders see it, they will definitely say that the 3 beast gods are too stupid, and they are not enslaved. Why don't they dare to fight? It's just that outsiders don't know that although they are not enslaved, the ethnic group is firmly in the hands of the cave owner. The entire Nian mysterious realm came from this cave owner. The Nianshan family, which has been able to reproduce to this day, is also related to the cave owner. If the cave master on the throne thinks that they are useless, he can change the name of the mysterious realm of Nian at any time. This is where their fear comes from. I can't wait to give up my life to protect my own value. How sad. What should I do? The face on the throne was stunned for a moment, and then a terrifying face emerged under the dark red halo. A corrupt face. But judging from the facial features, it can still be seen that the other party has a human identity. He raised his head, looked down at the beast among the 3 Nian beasts below, and said coldly, "If I still need to teach you about this kind of thing, then there is no need for you to stay. No, we just didn't expect that these 2 human race powerhouses actually discovered the dark forest, and even the death of the 7th old man could not stop them." The 3 beast gods were so frightened that they hurriedly explained. Mainly, this is the first time I have encountered such a thing, and I was able to come to the dark forest. Humph! The corrupt figure on the throne slowly got up, his body was corrupt. He stood in front of the throne, and said in a cold voice, "Since Sango can't kill them, then you go. If you can't, let your descendants go until the clan is wiped out." Hearing the word extermination, the 3 beast gods, although fearful, still harbor resentment in their hearts. If they can kill each other, they are willing to die 10 times. But they understand that all this is given by the other party, and if they want to take it back, it is a matter of raising their hands. So they have no choice. Go! The cave owner, whose body was corrupt, raised his hand slightly, and the visible fragments fell off his arm. Without the skin cover, you can clearly see that the other party's bones have a halo, which is metal. The 3 kings of the Nianshan family ended sadly. On the throne, the corrupt face made a determination. It seems that the plan is still ahead of schedule. The corrupt figure played with the mysterious token in his hand, and after injecting a little thought power, he said gloomily, "Zhu Yang, you should get out with your clansmen. The entire middle reaches of time and space will be gone in 3 days. Will be my ruined legion." Psychic infusion token. This sound transmission, following the mysterious realm of Nian, instantly arrived at the Jufeng time and space ranked 2nd in the middle reaches of time and space. Zhu Yang is the overlord of Jufeng time and space. The master of the peak universe in the 8 tribulations realm. Only a trace of the lord of the weak abyss. Moreover, he is still the legendary giant clan. At this time, in a certain palace in Jufeng time and space, Zhu Yang, immortal venerable after receiving the sound transmission, was stunned for a moment, and then he couldn't help sighing. The treasure of the abyss space-time doesn't seem to belong to me. Zhu Yang, immortal venerable, shook his head, no longer thinking about fighting. If it is the Lord of the Abyss, he has the time and confidence to spend with the other party. But which existence in the mysterious realm of the year notified him, it was only a unilateral notification. There is no room for negotiation. Born in the starry sky, drifting to the northern time and space. In fact, this is his hometown. Only now to be destroyed. It's time for us to leave. Immortal Venerable Jiang turned to look at the figures below the hall, his voice a little lonely. Don't look at the great cause of the Jufeng time and space family, which is comparable to the abyss time and space. It can be said that he is also the overlord of the entire middle reaches of time and space, but except for the treasures he cares about, it is the same as him. It is also good luck. In the middle reaches of the northern time and space, I actually met several people of the same clan, and they are all descendants of the giant god. Chapter 6049. Zhu Yang, are you willing? A figure standing below stood up. Treating this second powerhouse in the middle reaches of time and space, he did not show the slightest respect, but rather looked down upon him. In the entire Jufeng time and space, no one dared to speak to this Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable like this. But after Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable heard it, he just sighed slightly and didn't blame him, because the person who spoke, like him, was a giant of the giant clan. And it is also the direct line of the giant clan. Speaking of which, they are all relatives with the same blood. Humph. Although this sentence did not make Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable to blame, the other giant clan powerhouse could not stop, and said coldly, Frosa, don't forget, who took you in at the beginning. Yes, I'm starting to complain now, and I don't even look at how much I weigh. Frosa. If Jian Wushuang heard this name, he would definitely be startled. This is the giant of the gods who threatened Qi Temple at the beginning. Only in front of mortals, it is a god. Now, it is also the master of the universe of the seven tribulations realm. Millions of epochs, this god, in one breath, rushed from the realm of one tribulation to the master of the universe in the realm of seven tribulations. Also standing beside him is the master of the eight tribulations realm universe. Fiego. And the Fu Masa, who was born after leaving the Qi God Temple, also became the lord of the seven tribulations realm universe. The two were clearly on Frosa's side. That's why he dared to complain about Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable. After leaving the Qi Temple, Frosa still didn't change his habit of doing things. Hearing others expose his old bottom, his face sank, and he said in a low voice, Qi, don't forget your identity. What happened at the beginning was indeed embarrassing. After the three were sent out by the true spirit, they relied on Foiego to enter the middle reaches of time and space, and then they happened to meet Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable. At that time, Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable was already a peak powerhouse of the eight tribulations realm. After discovering the three people of his own family, he was still very happy, and he didn't have any heirs on them. Today, both Frosa and Fumisa are the peak powerhouses of the seven tribulations, and Foiego is the eighth tribulations. The wings are already hard. Although they won't retaliate, they won't take the initiative to retreat when it comes to chance. Which Qime, like Qi Xiao, came from a side branch of the giant god race and had no right to speak at all. With an angry shout, the other party was put aside. Then he looked at Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable and said again, Jiang, don't forget we are the giant clan, the guy in the mysterious realm of Nian. What kind of thing is he? Frosa became more and more angry. As a giant god, that is the greatest pride. Although he was beaten like a bereaved dog at the Qishan Temple, but now he has strength and confidence. The key is which is the strong person in the mysterious realm of the year, who was once a patron saint of the giant gods. It is said to be a patron saint, and to put it bluntly, it is a guard dog. Now it is riding arrogantly on their heads. Naturally, Frosa couldn't see it. In this regard, Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable also has an unspeakable secret. If the one in the mysterious realm of Nian had no background, he wouldn't be so disheartened and ready to slip away. Instead, it summons the great power within the family to come. But that existence has a background no less than their giant clan. Can't do it. Have a similar background. Then it's up to the individual. His strength is obviously not an opponent. The patron saint of the giant gods, the worst is also the powerhouse of the nine tribulations realm. Alas! Zhu Yang Immortal Venerable sighed, No matter what, he is also a demigod, and the people behind him, I am afraid that the ancestors in the clan will not be easily provoked, because this trivial matter is an enemy of the other party. No value. Could it be that the glory of our giant Protoss is worthless? Frossa insisted that he was not ready to leave. Immortal Venerable Jiang took a deep breath and stared at Frossa with a slight squinting, feeling a little strange. Although Frossa was also arrogant in the past, arrogance also has arrogant capital, not to mention strength, just relying on the opponent's brain. That is also the existence of the top few in the entire middle reaches of time and space. In fact, the entire Jufeng time and space has always been taken care of by Frossa. On the surface, he is said to be an immortal venerable, but in fact, he is also the #1 thug. Usually, even he would listen to Frossa's advice because what the other party said made sense. But this time, it was so abnormal, there was definitely something he didn't know existed. If you have anything, just say it. Immortal Venerable Jiang said that he blocked the time and space, and looked at Frossa. Frossa also smiled sinisterly at this time, and said where his confidence was. The variable this time is actually still in the mysterious realm of the year. The mysterious powerhouses of the upstream time and space are coming, and they have known it for a long time. The pyramid entered the mysterious realm of Nian, and they knew it immediately. Almost all the powerhouses in the middle reaches of time and space saw it with their own eyes. As a result, it didn't take long before something happened in the mysterious realm of Nian. To drive them away. Fools all know that it must be those powerhouses in the upstream time and space who have something wrong in the mysterious realm of Nian. Of course, the powerhouses in the upstream time and space have nothing to do with them. However, it has something to do with Frossa. Jian Wushuang. He once personally went to the mysterious realm of Nian to check the restrictions that were destroyed by the pyramid. In the mysterious realm of Nian, he felt the breath left by Jian Wushuang and recognized Jian Wushuang. This has something to do with him. And just now, he also contacted Jian Wushuang. I learned about Jian Wushuang's discovery in the mysterious realm of Nian. I didn't expect that we would meet in this way. Frossa and Jian Wushuang met each other through a token. Exchanged information with each other. The core of the mysterious realm of the year. Dark Forest. Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing have reached the edge. I guessed it well, there is a different time and space existence hidden here, and it also comes from the starry sky. Starry sky. Hui Qing's face sank, even though he was very confident. He couldn't help but be surprised when he heard the starry sky's powerhouse. You must know that the 4 dimensions of time and space are nothing but an appendage of the starry sky. The real core is the starry sky. There are not only complete supreme rules, but also a complete cultivation system, as well as a cultivation goal that can be seen to the end. Jian Wushuang was very calm about this. He has mastered the existence of the power of the starry sky, and he also has his own starry sky. Naturally, the starry sky is nothing, and it's just a strong man from the starry sky. Destruction also comes from the starry sky. His master, Shen Yi, is also likely to be from the starry sky. There is also the original Frossa, who also came from the starry sky. The other party also claimed that the starry sky is the first family. When we meet again, that's it. The realm is the same as his, but the divine power is quite different. He is much stronger than the so-called giant gods of the first group. From Frossa, he also found out the strength of the person behind him. It's just a robbery, there's nothing to worry about. Chapter 60-50? Sanjie. Hui Qing frowned and said in surprise, Brother Wushuang, how did you know? He has cultivated the way of heaven, but he can't deduce the crisis ahead, but Jian Wushuang knows it, isn't he surprised? Jian Wushuang smiled lightly, I met an acquaintance, he told me. The matter of Frossa will be discussed later. Now they have to enter the dark forest to find out who is behind it. The secret of the mysterious realm of the year, he must find out. And the other party didn't mean to let them go, so it's better to just let them go. The 9 Tribulations realm is not scary. And it's still a robbery. He teamed up with Hui Qing, enough to deal with it. It's a practice in advance. Anyway, there are no restrictions here, both of them can burst out 20 million divine powers. Which 9 tribulations realm scattered calamity, how much divine power can it have? How much, Frosa didn't say. He's really not good at guessing. After entering the dark forest, he only felt that this place was very similar to the scorched earth left by Morwo's time and space. The power that was drained made people feel suffocated. Something's wrong. Hui Qing stopped immediately. This has entered the opponent's nest, and it is normal that something is wrong. If Hui Qing was able to stop, he felt that he was in danger. Jian Wushuang's eyes swept all around, and one hand was slightly backward, ready to draw his sword at any time. He has maintained a super eternity change, with a power of 18 million. If you use the source dojo, you can exceed 20 million at any time. The person behind him is a 9 tribulation realm, so be careful. Speaking of which, it was the first time he encountered the 9 tribulations realm, and he was also curious in his heart. But what did you find? He looked around at all times, keeping vigilance. Hui Qing clenched his hands together, and an eye appeared above his forehead, as if he was looking around. An extremely hidden movement, even Jian Wushuang did not find it. However, Hui Qing was directly locked, and at the same time he loudly reminded, in the southwest, someone is arranging the formation. Clang. Jian Wushuang drew his sword directly, and the ice blue blade slipped out along the scabbard, severing countless bushes in an instant. Time and space. 4th sword. A sword that is enough to kill all the 8 tribulations. Steady suppressed the time and space of the mysterious realm of the year. Cut in the direction Hui Qing said. Arrange the formation? If they are opened, they are naturally not afraid, but they are afraid of being trapped by the formation. At that time, if you win, you have to fight, and if you don't win, you have to fight. Control is completely in the opponent's hands. Naturally to be broken. The space-time sword, the space that shattered the dark forest, stopped time. The Year Beast King who arranged the formation did not know that he had been exposed. But he couldn't feel the time at all. I just felt that the whole person slowed down. Then he entered a shattered space-time. Discovered. His voice just fell. The entire divine body began to shatter. Along with the unfinished formations around, they all shattered. Like a mirror. Broken space, broken picture. Third brother. At the other end of the dark forest, I felt the disappearance of my companion's divine power. The patriarch of the Nian Beast clan, unable to bear the grief, immediately burst out. The 3 formations are connected to each other. If one is broken, the rest will have no effect. Now I can only bite the bullet. Ha! Jian Wushuang's breath was a little unstable. Although the space-time sword is already Theravada, it is still a bit difficult. With a full-strength sword just now, his breath dropped by 30% in an instant. But it doesn't affect divine power. Are you okay? Hui Qing looked at him, a little worried. The power of that sword just now was so extraordinary that even Hui Qing was stunned. He shook his head and calmly said, "No problem, there are 2 auras approaching. The divine power is not weak, but it should not be the person behind." N. Hui Qing also pointed his gaze straight ahead. Just an instant. 2 majestic figures descended. The other 2 kings of the Nian Shen family came. They are in the dark forest, with 25 million divine powers. If the formation can be built just now, it will be stronger. Unfortunately, that sword directly shattered their illusions. Kill my third brother, you must die today. The majestic Nian Beast King's blood-red eyes represent anger. He has no choice. Either they died today or Jian Wushuang and others died. Miscellaneous fish. Jian Wushuang spit in disdain. He has already figured out the strength of Nian beasts. Without the mysterious realm of Nian, they are nothing. The space-time sword just now shattered the space-time of the Forest of Darkness, reducing the opponent's divine power to freezing point in an instant, and he was able to kill him easily. But this sword also wasted an important trump card of his. Inside the cave in the depths of the dark forest. Broken time and space, he actually realized the time and space realm. A shocked expression leaked from the dilapidated face, and he exclaimed, He is only in the 7 tribulation realm, and he is so strong, and he has mastered the power of the starry sky. From the starry sky, he had great confidence after being transformed by the big man in the southern space and time, but after seeing Jian Wushuang's methods, he was still shocked. Needless to say, the power of the starry sky is a very special power in the starry sky, and only a few people can control it. But it can't be said to be too outrageous. As the great master of the 9 tribulations realm, it's not that he hasn't seen such arrogance. The time and space realm of the main Jian Wushuang really surprised him. A master of the universe of the 7 tribulations realm attached to time and space has become so strong. In the starry sky, the waste taught by the Protoss is nothing more than that. It is not as good as a master of the universe attached to space and time. It's ridiculous. In the dilapidated face, there is disdain for those geniuses in the starry sky, and there is also jealousy. Standing on the top of the mountain in the starry sky, silently watching their struggling big man. Lord of the universe? What is even the Lord of the universe in the 9 tribulations realm? The powerful Lord of the 9 tribulations realm universe can reach the level of a demigod, comparable to the so-called true of the starry sky. What is it? In front of the star spirits, it is a passing cloud of smoke. Only Protoss are immortal. 9 tribulations realm, although it can also be immortal. But in countless eras, a lot has fallen, and it cannot be regarded as immortal at all. Only 12 celestial spirits can rule the starry sky forever. No one shakes. The so-called eternal existence of the northern time and space is a joke in front of the Protoss. Star spirit disciple, that is the dream of all practitioners. The practitioners who can become the disciples of the celestial spirits are the worst demigods. It can even break through the Lord of the universe and comprehend the supreme rules. As a 9 tribulation realm, this is also his dream. But as the divine body shattered, he lost everything. He was kicked out of the giant clan and went to the south dimension, suffering from all the scorn. Finally, after the guidance of the big man, he came to the northern time and space. After taking control of the mysterious realm of Nian, I regained the confidence I once had. Chapter 6051. Now that the overall situation is getting better, he has to get back everything he once had. It would not have been so fast, but it was a pity that Jian Wushuang and the others discovered his plan, so it could only be earlier. The power of ruin spreads in his divine body, until it covers the entire cave. Above the dark forest, Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing, one to deal with one. The 2 kings of the race for 2 years, spared no effort in attacking furiously. It has reached a state of madness. Unfortunately, although their divine power is strong, they can only bully those ordinary 8 tribulation realms. There is no threat to Jian Wushuang at all, because these divine powers do not belong to them. As for Hui Qing, it is even more skillful. The divine power displayed by the Nianshan family, to be precise, is still too imaginary. They have no means of augmentation and can only increase their divine power according to the terrain of the mysterious realm of the year. There is no change in the level of life. This is the essential difference. Your life level has not changed. Just like the physique of a child, it has the power of an adult. You are powerful, but your defenses have fallen. And also the speed of reaction. Jian Wushuang's divine power was only maintained at around 20 million, but he was able to hang his opponent to fight. Holding the sword of myriad tribulations upside down, facing the attack of the Nian Beast King, his figure fluttered away. The moment he staggered away, he slapped the opponent's back with a palm. With a movement of divine power, the powerful strength is far from comparable to that of Nian Beast, and it directly tore the opponent's back. A transparent divine body leaked out. Die! The sword shadow cleaved from his origin, clearly not using the sword of myriad tribulations, but it was able to burst out such a powerful sword of death. This is the sword of death after Mahayana. Hundreds of millions of sword shadows poured out, and what Jian Wushuang saw was the black sword shadow condensed by the black fog in the sky. But Nian Beast turned around and saw countless gods of death, waving a sickle as if to harvest his life. The Sword of Death is perfect for dealing with powerhouses with a relatively low level of life. All things are mutually restrained. Jian Wushuang is able to restrain everything. Against life he is death. Against death he lives again. Never go against the wind. Death! An angry shout decided the other party's life and death. Nian Beast King staggered and turned around, waving his hands to block it. But couldn't touch it at all. This is the boundary gap. Indelible difference. And death just restrained his weak life. At this moment he can only wait to die. Countless black sword shadows pierced the divine body of the Nian Beast King. Puff puff. Ah, ah. Nian Beast King's eyes were filled with unwillingness. At the moment of its death, it didn't seem to regret it. Big brother. The first-year Beastmaster who fought against Hui Qing in the distance also came to a dead end and saw the fall of his eldest brother. Can't stand it anymore. Wow! After a whimper, a dazzling light erupted from its divine body. Be careful! Jian Wushuang stepped back instantly, while reminding, this lunatic he is going to explode himself. After suffering a loss once, how could he eat a second time? Run away immediately. No matter how low the level of life is, the power of divine power is real. Although it is a little false, when it explodes, the divine power that splits out is not false at all. He nearly died on it the last time. So be careful all the time. We'll never be fooled a second time. But Hui Qing was unmoved. Facing the self-destruction of the Beastmaster of the Year, nothing moved. Heavenly secret. Unlimited. Gu Wei, Qiankuan. Earthbound. Hui Qing vomited in his mouth and folded his hands together. Follow the Tao and the Dharma. The unity of knowledge and action. The quartet is one. The burst did not spread. After staying in front of Hui Qing's eyes, he disappeared. Good. After clasping his hands together and meditating silently, Hui Qing turned to look at him and said, Brother Wushuang, let's move on. Yep. Jian Wushuang was a little speechless, and secretly said in his heart, it's necessary, you can leave with a dodge, and you have to crush the opponent's last hope. Head. Practitioners of the Dharma can create more demonic thoughts. No wonder Tong Tian Buddha, incarnated as the infinite demon. This is all traceable. Always thinking of doing good things. When the world is peaceful, they will be useless. Can you come up with a few devils to show your prestige? No day can be said to emerge as the times require. After Hui Qing Buddha changed his way, he was much better. But the means are more aggressive than ever and less sloppy. Actually, it's good to think about it. Swish. Wait for me. He flashed and followed in an instant. Continue walking towards the depths of the dark forest. Through the huge bushes, not even a living creature was seen. There is no more Nian beast to block. They still don't know that those Nian beasts have all disappeared at this time. The power of ruin has covered the mysterious realm of the entire year. Jian Wushuang had never seen this kind of power, so he didn't think there was anything strange about it. The power of the stars is extremely rare. Destructible power is even more special. It is a branch of destruction, not a destructive force. Because the power of destruction is beyond the supreme rules and belongs to the power of God. It is the power of God. The power of ruin, cultivated to the peak, can also be comparable to God. But the power of the starry sky comes from the starry sky. If you cultivate to the top, you are only a demigod. It's just that the power of the starry sky used by Jian Wushuang comes from his own source starry sky, but he has no such constraints. Even if there is, he doesn't know. Fly along the dark forest. The less danger they encountered, the more careful the two of them were. Even Hui Qing couldn't detect the dangerous aura. Either the other party is hiding very well, or the other party is really powerful and does not need to be hidden, they can't detect it. Yep. Just when the two were flying in midair, they found that there was something wrong with the ground. Jian Wushuang stopped first and said in surprise, "Something's wrong. Why has the color of the ground changed? Red turned into black?" Hui Qing also revealed a surprised look. When they entered the dark forest, the ground was red and the grass was black. Now the ground and the vegetation have merged into one, and they have turned black. The two fell directly to the ground. Jian Wushuang lightly grabbed a handful of black soil, held it in his hand and sniffed it. A rundown breath made his spirit slump by 3 points in an instant. Then the power of mind was probed, and the power of mind was also sluggish. There is something strange. It should be the person behind him who started to do it. Throwing away the dirt, he looked up into the distance. From the dirt, he smelled the threat. This threat is ahead. The law body in the source is contacting Frasa. Just because of the Year Beast King, some things have not been asked carefully. I only know that the other party is a scattered robbery from the 9 Tribulations realm. But there is no way to ask the other party. Can control the mysterious realm of Nian, and let Nian Beast attack them so madly. Chapter 6052. The means are definitely not those of the opponents in the past. It is definitely the only existence that destroys life. If the person behind him knew what Jian Wushuang was thinking, he would probably leak a smile. Because I look up to him too much. Although the 9 Tribulations realm is powerful, it is still far from the of death in the starry sky. That is true God. The Lord of the universe, very few can be demigods. Not to mention comparable to the true God. The gods in the starry sky are far from the gods born in time and space. The gap in between cannot be bridged at all. This is also why, regardless of the true in the attached time and space river, he must go to the world continent instead of practicing in time and space. Too far. Only the world god continent can rival the starry sky. It is also the place where the 4 affiliated time and space, and even the powerhouses in the starry sky, gather. Because God also wants to improve himself. You will know when you see death. Whether it's destroying life and wanting to go further, or Danbao perfecting his own life secret technique. All need to rely on practice and planning. It's not just sitting on the mountain. All gods need to cultivate and plan for opportunities. Not to mention practitioners, they want to be stronger. The Lord of the universe of the 9 Tribulations is not enough to be a demigod, even comparable to a god. More to go beyond the boundaries of the universe. If you don't have the chance to become a god, you have to become the of your own universe. God of the universe. Jian Wushuang learned this title from Frasa. God of the universe. He couldn't help but mutter to himself. Maybe this is the top spot. If you don't have a position, then make one yourself. But in his universe, there is a starry sky. And now to take a new route, what should it be called then? Star God. He shook his head, feeling a little far-fetched. Now you have to think about your opponent. The former lord of the 9 Tribulations realm universe is known as the powerhouse of a demigod. Let's go. There was a look of confidence on his face. After knowing some information about the other party, he no longer felt that nervous. Instead, he said to Hui Qing very easily, I found him. Hui Qing's face was overjoyed, and he didn't even realize that Jian Wushuang was able to find the opponent's position. It seems that Brother Wushuang's thought power has also increased a lot with the realm. I'm less humble, compared to your Zen machine. It's far worse. I just happened to learn something from that old friend. He smiled wryly and shook his head, but it was actually because of that power. And what Frasa said caught his attention. Hui Qing's Zen machine could not be deduced. That's because the other party never existed in the northern time and space at all. It exceeded Hui Qing's understanding. The deduction can only get an unknown threat, so don't you always be vigilant. Now that they have the confidence, the two are not so worried. There is no need to fly, and the space is directly torn and teleported to the source of the threat. A cave with a dark red aura. That's it. He looked at the cave and found nothing special, and there was no formation around him. It's not like a place for the strong to retreat and recuperate. According to Frasa, the other party is just a lingering robbery. Although it is the 9 Tribulations realm, it has no origin, and even the divine body is broken. In other words, there is no shortage of vitality in the starry sky, and the level of life has been raised to perfection. Not dying at all. But it will fall apart. Ruin is not like death. Is something scarier than death. because once it is destroyed, it is useless to resurrect. Unless you reshape the body of God. Even if you don't need the source, go the divine body route alone. But rebuilding the divine body is no different from reincarnation. The divine power is all in the divine body, and the divine body has been rebuilt, so let's just reopen the soul. Without divine power, the source has failed and shattered, leaving only the soul. If you go to practice from scratch, no matter how strong your state of mind is, it will be difficult to reach new heights. And it will be 10 times more tiring than the first practice. Just take a few detours. The early game will be smooth, but the late game will be a torture. Nobody would do it this way. Most still choose to be reincarnated. But countless strong people, after reincarnation, will sink into the sea. Because they want to restore the memory of the past life, they need to surpass the achievements of the past life. So it drowned countless reincarnated powerhouses. But this is the best way to do it. If you don't want your soul to sink, you will only fall into a closed loop, that is, you will not be able to surpass the peak. Robbery. Far more cruel than they imagined. Originally, I thought that the 9 tribulations realm was already ahead. Unexpectedly, there is still this barrier above, blocking their way forward. The one in the cave mansion has come to this end of the road. Of course, this is what Jian Wushuang thinks. He really can't imagine what is the other party's real purpose. I will never come to visit the North Time and Space. After moving his wrist, Jian Wushuang shouted loudly, "Your Excellency, do you want to invite us into the cave to reminisce, or come out to see you? Either they go in or the other party comes out to meet." That kind of choice, Jian Wushuang can accept. He really wanted to see how the other party came up with the mysterious realm in the coming year, able to isolate the northern time and space, and achieve the real Jedi heaven. At this time, they were just like in the world God continent. Unrestricted. No movement. After shouting, the two waited for a long time. There was a long time for a stick of incense, and there was no movement at all, which made Jian Wushuang feel a little embarrassed. It can only be actively invited in. In the dark red cave, Jian Wushuang has no fear. He wanted to see what was hidden inside. Snapped. Jian Wushuang took a step forward, but before he entered the cave, he was stopped by Hui Qing. "Brother Wushuang, why don't you let me go and have a look? You stand behind." "No, the two of us can't be separated, it's better to act together." Without any hesitation, he directly rejected Hui Qing's suggestion. Although he was confident, he was not arrogant. Acting separately, he has no confidence. Hui Qing's strength is 3 points stronger than him. Before he reached the 8 tribulations realm, he dared not say that he would be able to win against Hui Qing. The other party is like him, and it is also against the sky, and it is impossible to fight against Hui Qing by leaps and bounds. The two of them together are not bound by divine power. In the face of the 9 tribulations realm, you can fight. But if they were separated, would be a bit hanging. Seeing that he was so determined, Hui Qing couldn't say anything else. Ready to enter together. But at this moment, a violent force rushed out of the cave. Jian Wushuang resisted with difficulty, and the divine power was constantly shrinking. The whole person began to languish. "The King of Ruin." Jian Wushuang gritted his teeth and shouted loudly, "I know who you are, you don't have to hide." This time, as soon as his voice fell, he received a reply. "Oh." A lazy voice came from the cave, and then asked in surprise, "Did Zhu Yang tell you?" Chapter 6053. In the northern time and space, the one who knew his identity was the giant son immortal venerable of the giant god clan. If it wasn't for the ancestor of the giant god clan who had a great favor to him, he would have taken care of those giant god clan. Even if he was swept out of the house, he chose to notify the other party before destroying the entire middle reaches. Unexpectedly, the other party turned around and sold himself. Then the last trace of kindness is gone, and he has nothing to do with the giant gods. In the dark red cave, a waist leg with withered flesh stepped out. The lack of trouser legs made him leak out the bones. Then the whole figure appeared in front of Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing. One was emaciated, his physical body was almost damaged, and even the divine body showed many signs of fragmentation. Jian Wushuang has also seen some people in the world, which is not surprising. Ruined. It should be so. Moreover, he could clearly feel the other party's divine power. Even his physical body was almost gone, his divine body was leaking out, and it was a little broken. Is there any way to cover it up? It's just that the other party's broken power, they haven't seen it before, so they can't detect it. Now that I have seen this power, I will naturally be able to lock the opponent next time. Just miss the next chance. When the two sides meet, it is definitely a matter of life and death. If it threatens the northern time and space, it must be removed. What's more, the other party really did it. The aura of ruin has spread to the entire midstream time and space. Once the opponent succeeds, the entire midstream space-time will be completely separated from the upstream and downstream. Without the flow of time and space in the middle reaches, the downstream and the end will also be finished. At that time, the entire northern time and space will be left upstream. The Realm King must not be mad. The figure with incomplete faces, standing in front of Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing, has absolute confidence on his face. In order for you to understand this seat better, you must listen carefully to every sentence that follows. Jian Wushuang became interested, his face was indifferent, he reached out his hand and said, "Don't worry, speak slowly." After reaching their level, even if the next moment is about to decide between life and death, they must remain calm. This is the power of the strong. My name is Beirut, from the stars. I know. Jian Wushuang spread his hands and continued, "Why don't you talk about the Nian mysterious realm? I'm curious why there is no restriction on divine power here?" Well, Beirut looked a little embarrassed and smiled awkwardly. "I'm afraid you will only know after you kill me." Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and said, "Then there is no need to talk nonsense. Go. Kill him." He and Hui Qing separated from each other and besieged Beirut in a triangle. A 9-tribulation realm from the starry sky, Jian Wushuang has long wanted to test the opponent's strength. This is the opportunity. Super eternal change. The perfect super eternity instantly brought his divine power to its peak. Then came the dojo. The 3 suns and moons rose slowly and hung high in the sky. Jian Wushuang stood on Tianqing Mountain, his right hand trembled slightly. This is not because he is nervous or afraid, but in his mind, constantly calculating the speed at which he draws the sword. Do it one step at a time. This is learned from Hui Qing. Fighting is to be the best. What's the point of fighting with those Nian beasts? You can't feel the collision between the powerhouses at all. On the other side, Hui Qing also took a stance. The third eye on the forehead has appeared. The source dojo is transformed into a chessboard. 2 figures came out of it. Future body. The same secret method against the sky. Divine power keeps rising. Both of them have more than 25 million divine powers. In the forest of darkness, it is more perfect and complete than the flaming mountain. Let their divine power be brought into full play. It's just that Hui Qing is still a little hidden. If he uses his full strength, there is probably no upper limit. This is the horror. How powerful will be in the future, how powerful will be now. The key point is that Hui Qing's future body is only to maintain the self after 100,000 or 10,000 epochs. If you improve it again, you can maintain the self of the billions of eras, and I am afraid that it will be even stronger. 25 million, 27 million. Beirut tilted his head and glanced at Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing, with a somewhat disdainful expression on his face. With a casual move, a dazzling armor appeared on his body. If you have this ability, then you will die. His voice just fell. The wind is rising. None of the 3 took the initiative. Instead, observe the change of breath. Be prepared to take the shot at a time that is best for you. Hui Qing's Zen machine together played the biggest role at this time. He will be the first to break the game. Heavenly secret, hum. In the future, King Kong glared, his eyes widened and he looked at Beirut, his body turned and his hands moved back and forth, and a staff already appeared in his hand. Waving his staff, he took the shape of a sun and moon, and he immediately killed Beirut. Jian Wushuang was not in a hurry, but prepared to wait for an opportunity. He has not yet seen Beirut take action. The sword is not good either. This time, he will use the strongest sword. Forced to cast time and space reincarnation. Take Beirut, the 9 tribulation realm, for a knife. The staff that Hui Qing lifted up fell in front of Beirut and was blocked by the opponent's finger. Humph! Beirut smiled disdainfully. That's it. Snapped. As soon as you point it out, stop it. 2 pointed out, kill. With just a flick of his finger, Hui Qing's future body was knocked back. That powerful force shot straight into the sky. Hui Qing's whole body was shaken back, clutching his chest and feeling the trembling of the source. Just now. What happened? After Hui Qing was repelled, he still felt a little incredible. The attack just now had 27 million divine power, but after approaching the opponent, it suddenly decreased by 7 million. However, the opponent's strength did not change in any way. While Hui Qing was still surprised, Jian Wushuang opened his mouth to remind, "It is the power of ruin, we are still bound." At this moment, Jian Wushuang saw the problem. When the other party appeared, he felt it. At that time, the divine power suddenly decreased, and then it erupted again and returned to its peak. But Beirut's power has never changed. The threshold of the 9 tribulations realm is 20 million divine powers. But Beirut is a genuine 9 tribulation realm powerhouse, and his divine power is definitely more than 30 million. Even after the achievement of ruin, is not as powerful as before, and it will definitely exceed 20 million. But even so, he and Hui Qing also have this strength. Logically speaking, it should be on par with the other party. There is no way that the difference is that big. One finger blocked Hui Qing's attack, and the second finger shook Hui Qing away. There is only one possibility. That is, they still haven't broken that boundary. Or rather, the boundary is controlled by Beirut itself. The other party's divine power is really nothing until they are not bound. After arriving at the mysterious realm of Nian, Jian Wushuang's whole body also floated. Chapter 6054. There is no feeling of restraint, which makes him too confident. Now that someone suddenly grabbed his throat, he realized how difficult it was to surpass 20 million divine powers. Clang. But, no matter how powerful the opponent is, this place is the northern time and space. He will also draw his sword and fight. Time and space, The 4 directions of time and space isolated the power of ruin, and his divine power was restored again. Although he will still be suppressed after he touches the opponent, he will not be able to touch the opponent until it reaches more than 20 million. Reincarnation. 2 swords in 1. Time and space reincarnation. As soon as the sword came out, the vortex in time and space began to condense. Create a time and space cycle. This is my proudest sword so far. The sword energy filled the sky, filling the entire reincarnation. Reincarnation forged by swords. Then destroy by the sword. The Starry Sky Catalog, the 5th sword. This moment was officially formed, which also meant that he had reached the point where he could perform a complete sword after he started. If this sword, there is no power to break the opponent's body. So this time, they and Hui Qing really met an iron plate. Thousands of calamities cast reincarnation. The time sword suppresses time and space. The entire dark forest was shocked. Time and space, reincarnation? Beirut's face showed a look of fear, and his figure kept retreating. The dilapidated figure wanted to escape, but found that the place was all time and space. How could he escape? His broken body also has life. The end of life is the cycle of death. That can be avoided. Area. Knowing that Beirut could not avoid it, he prepared to step down the sword. The sword of time and space reincarnation contains the power of the source. The source blessing of the 3 perfect universes, converted into divine power, is definitely beyond 25 million. At this time, Beirut's divine power is only so much. Naturally, he did not dare to fight hard, and once again used the same means as against Hui Qing. Area. That is the core of this year's mysterious realm. Jian Wushuang frowned, clearly feeling that his power was constantly weakening. It's just a weakened power, it's divine power, not his origin. Therefore, the space-time samsara sword did not retreat, but its origin was rising. Ha! He also reacted at this time mocking, Beirut, your tricks are useless to me. The huge sword shadow condensed by the reincarnation of time and space tore apart the entire dark forest and charged towards Beirut. The power of this sword is genuine. When Beirut resisted, his arms were directly shattered by the shock. This is a rundown body, and it is even worse at this moment. If you think that you can beat me like this, it's too small. A trace of blood appeared in Beirut's eyes, and the corners of his mouth rose wildly. He is known as the King of Ruin, and he has already broken the jar, so he is still afraid of damage to his divine body? And his reliance is not the divine power in himself. It is the mysterious realm of the year underfoot. Area. It can also be called God's domain. In the domain, he is invincible. Break. Beirut's virtual body was integrated into the domain, and the dark forest disappeared completely. A magnificent dark abyss appeared in front of Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing. At the moment of Gu Mang, those practitioners in the outside world, as well as all the super powerhouses in the middle reaches of time and space, can see that a huge abyss appeared in the mysterious realm of Nian. The abyss is spinning, slowly eroding the origin and divine power of the entire midstream spacetime. Jian Wushuang's proudest sword fell into the abyss, like a stone sinking into the sea, without any movement. Swallow. The abyss is constantly collapsing, and the power absorbed is the foundation of the entire midstream spacetime. This is devouring. The dark Jisun disappeared, and the scorched earth left behind is the evidence. It's the same as what Moro left behind. He couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva, and said with a trembling voice, "It's over, he's going to devour the entire midstream time and space." Devouring the entire midstream? Hui Qing was also stunned. Although the middle reaches of time and space do not have as deep a background as the upper reaches, it is not something that a practitioner can contend with. If the other party can really swallow and digest, at that time, the entire midstream will be determined by Beirut, and the two of them will lose their ability to even escape. Stop him! Jian Wushuang didn't think much about it, and now there is only one way. Stop each other, or they will definitely die. But how to stop it? The abyss is what Beirut calls the domain. They can't even find the deity of Beirut. Can't destroy this abyss. Jian Wushuang didn't know how to start for a while. Staring at the abyss is staring at him. You. Hui Qing frowned, then he'll deduce it and see what's so great about this domain. Seeing the other party's confident expression, Jian Wushuang also smiled. Face it all. Be fearless. Incarnate in thousands, rushing around. Devouring I will too. In just an instant of time, the mysterious realm of the whole year fell into the abyss. Fortunately, the pyramid was fast enough to not sink in. The original choice was also correct. Let Wu Zue and the others go first. Otherwise, it has to be explained here. Brother Wu Zue, don't come back, just leave the middle reaches of time and space. After finding that something was wrong, he informed Wu Zue to leave first. And let the other party inform the king of this place. In fact, there is no need to notify, the realm king will know. The moment Beirut walked out of the cave, the realm king discovered the change in the middle reaches of time and space. This gave the king a headache. In the bottom of my heart, I was also complaining. Wherever Jian Wushuang and the others went, disasters followed. He really wanted to send them out of the northern time and space immediately. When it was sent to the World God continent, he didn't believe that when he arrived in the World God continent, what kind of nonsense could he come up with? In fact, before reaching the World God continent, several powerful enemies have already been buried. Go, is it not the enemy of the world? In the pyramid that left the mysterious realm of Nian, Wu Zue felt a little uneasy after hearing the sound transmission, but Babata didn't listen to him and went directly downstream. Brother Wushuang, this time the joke is too big. In a hurry, Wu Zue summoned everyone out to discuss countermeasures together. As for the realm king, It is simply unreliable. Now I don't even have the qualifications to enter the midstream. At this time, the middle reaches of time and space are like falling into the edge of the abyss. If you want to save, you can only break through the abyss. The real body of the king is blocked from the outside world by the rules in the abyss. You can't get in at all. Even if you get in, there's no way. At most, stand up and be in a hurry. No! The realm king gritted his teeth and stood outside the time and space. He was not reconciled. There are many disasters in his northern time and space, and his deity has fallen in the disaster. If he loses the middle reaches, it means that the lower reaches are gone. Downstream is actually fine, it doesn't matter. The last tour alone has a stable effect on the northern time and space. If the confluence of the last travel time and space is lost, then the northern time and space will basically be over. Chapter 6055. I can only ask Big Brother. The realm king was a little helpless. His figure traveled through time and space, returned to the realm of the realm, and went straight to a small island in the sea. Last time, for the sake of the god of life, he went to the starry sky to visit several bigwigs, and finally was shot. As a result, Wan Lu Shenmu was almost finished. It was impossible for Weiss to help him anymore. And at this time, it is useless to go to the starry sky for help. You can only rely on those friends in the world continent. For example, the Great Realm King, who governs the 4 affiliated time and space. In addition to the starry sky, there are the 4 subordinate dimensions of time and space. There are 4 realm kings in the south, east, and northwest. Above the realm king, below the realm king god. There is also a low-key god. He is the king of the great realm. This great realm king is extremely low-key, rarely shows up, and there are few gods who know his residence. Only the 4 realm kings and realm king gods know each other's residence. The king of the northern realm tidied up his clothes, and as soon as his figure moved, he landed on the island. Big Brother! Standing on the beach beside the island, the realm king called out, but no one answered. After shouting again, the only wooden house on the island made a slight noise. The door of the wooden house was pushed open from the inside. A beautiful child came out of the house, saw the queen of the northern realm, looked happy and said, "Master is right, Master Uncle is indeed here. Junior nephew Jingshu, where is your master?" The northern realm king didn't have the time to catch up with the other party, so he quickly asked the great realm king's whereabouts. If he was there, he would definitely come out. Obviously he wasn't there. Seeing the anxious-looking northern realm king, Jing Su said indifferently, "Master has gone to Nantianfu to visit friends. I'm afraid he has just arrived at this time." "Then he'll go first." Knowing that the great realm king had gone to Nantian Mansion, the northern realm king was ready to leave directly. When he left, he was stopped by Jingshu, "Uncle Bei, but for Beirut in the middle reaches of time and space? How do you know?" The king of the north realm was taken aback. Even he just knew about this. Could it be that the relationship between Jian Wushuang and the others is sky-high, even in the world god continent? He knew about Jian Wushuang and had a relationship with Weiss, but Weiss did not come to the world god continent at all, let alone seek the great world king. And Weiss is a 12 Protoss, so there is no time for such trivial matters. If you really want to care, Beirut has already been one. A Beirut is nothing more than a demigod at its peak. Not a threat at all. Nothing compares to extinction. Jingshu had expected it long ago and explained, "Master told me, he said you would definitely come, and because of the matter in the middle reaches of time and space, Master, his old man went to Nantianfu to visit friends this time, and it was also because of this thing." Oh! After the realm king learned about it, his face brightened. He didn't expect that this eldest brother would have known about the scourge of his travel in the northern time and space. It really came with no effort. So, the great realm king knows Beirut? In fact, he didn't know much about Beirut, and he didn't even know why the other party had such a powerful treasure. It can actually devour the entire midstream time and space. I don't know about this, but the master told me that when my uncle came, he asked me to follow my uncle to the northern time and space to kill Beirut. Kill Beirut? It's just a childlike Jingshu who said such domineering words. And the aura on his body is just average, nothing special. Even if it is the 9 tribulations realm, going to the northern time and space, the divine power will be suppressed to 20 million. How to kill Beirut? The Realm King did not doubt the other party's words in the slightest. Since the great Realm King has ordered it, he must have confidence. And his nephew is not simple, he is a demigod. Don't look at it as a child. Once it erupts, it will become and demon, and it will be an opponent in the 9 tribulations realm. Once, there was a formidable record of 1 enemy 3. One person fights 3 demigods. Could. The Realm King said 3 good words in one breath, and quickly took Jingshu and left the island. After tearing the space, he went straight to the northern time and space. At this time, the middle reaches of the northern time and space completely collapsed. Only the abyss space-time is still struggling. Almost all the masters of the universe in the middle reaches of time and space have gathered here. What happened in the mysterious realm of Nien? It has destroyed more than 30 time-spaces in a row. Only the abyss time-space can maintain stability. It's hard to say. It is estimated that it has something to do with the superpower houses in the upstream time and space. In short, this time it's up to fate. Those powerhouses who don't know it have calmed down and resigned themselves to fate. The ones who know about it are also a few of the giant gods. But the faces of these people are not good-looking. They could have escaped, but they stopped Frosa and decided to stay and gamble once. It seems that they bet wrong. Frosa, I blame you this time. If it wasn't for you, we would have already gone to the giant god mountain in the starry sky. Are you afraid that there will be no treasures when you go to the starry sky? Chi Mei on the side couldn't help but complain. Although Ju Yang Immortal Venerable looked embarrassed, he didn't say anything, mainly because he didn't want to leave. Starry Sky, Giant Mountain. The clan of the giant gods. There are countless opportunities in the starry sky, but their strength is not enough. I went to the starry sky and became a younger brother. In the northern time and space, that is the big brother. No one likes to be a little brother. He is only at the peak of the 8 tribulations realm now. There is no need to return to the stars so early. At least after reaching the 8 tribulations realm, the Hui people will consider breaking through the 9 tribulations realm. In this way, it can be regarded as a proud return to his hometown, and he is also a big man when he arrives at the starry sky. Shut up! Foi Ego yelled angrily. He believed in Frosa, but the situation was really bad for them now. Maybe he will fall again. The last time Frosa was able to resurrect him, so I had confidence in Frosa. Bet wrong and admit it. The Lord of the Abyss saw the distressed expressions of the giants of the God clan, and obviously saw the problem, and wanted to come forward and talk. There may be some problems internally, but externally, they are the same, and they have ignored the Lord of the Abyss. Alas! The Lord of the Abyss couldn't help sighing and looked back. The abyss behind him was far away from the abyss of the Nien mysterious realm. He always felt that something big was going to happen. In the abyss of the mysterious realm of Nien, an abnormal sound shook, and countless red eyes opened from the abyss. The same is true for the abyss. Suddenly attracted the attention of countless powerhouses, backed away. Those eyes waited for an opportunity, and their faces leaked from the darkness. Ruined Legion. Devoured the heritage of the entire midstream time and space. Even if Beirut was a demigod at its peak, it could not digest it all. It just absorbed a part of the power that was swallowed up. The remaining power turned into his dilapidated legion. Countless bats stretched out their huge wings from the abyss and rushed out of the endless abyss. Every bat wild beast has the combat power of the 7 tribulations. In particular, those bats in the mysterious realm of Nien have a large group of bat wild beasts in the 8 tribulations realm. Chapter 6056. The abyss spacetime is directly in chaos. Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing are okay, although they haven't found Beirut's deity for the time being, they still have no problem dealing with bats. Those bats are transformed from the background of the middle reaches of time and space. Nature also belongs to the life of the northern time and space. Divine power is at most 20 million. Hui Qing, don't deduce, leave here before the swallowing power of the abyss reaches its peak. Jian Wushuang was a little anxious at this moment. After searching for a circle, I didn't find Beirut's figure, but so many bats appeared in the abyss. Beirut is probably devouring the heritage of the entire midstream spacetime. Don't say that they can't find it now. Even if they are found, they are not opponents. It has reached the point where it cannot be stopped. All that's left is to escape. Leave the green hills without worrying about no firewood. But Hui Qing was still a little hesitant, because he has deduced his way out. That way of life seems to be related to time. Just wait and it will break. Don't worry, leave here first. Jian Wushuang directly used the universe shuttle, pulled Hui Qing and started to escape. Ignore those bat wild beasts at all. But just as they were about to escape, a black mist spewed out from the abyss. The black fog instantly filled the mysterious realm of the whole year and turned into a huge human face. Come if you want, leave if you want, that's too despising for me. Beirut's voice came from the sky filled with black mist. Jian Wushuang's figure paused, not because he took the initiative to stop, but was stopped by the restriction in front of him. In the realm of the gods, there is no divine power again. He also looked up at the sky, but his tone was weaker, and he said, Beirut, aren't you afraid of the realm king? At this time, he also wanted to move out of the king to scare him. As everyone knows, the real king has to go to Beirut to move rescue soldiers. Ha! After hearing this threat, Beirut laughed wildly. A realm king without his deity, what is he? The figure of Beirut walked out of the black fog, holding a broken blade, and said in a very arrogant tone, I dare to come to your northern time and space, and I will never be afraid of him. Just as his words were spoken, the time and space of the Nian mysterious realm was torn apart. One fat and one thin, two figures, one blue and one white, appeared in the mysterious realm of Nian. The fat man at the head touched his nose and just heard that sentence. Yes. The person who came is the real king, and the white-faced children around him are naturally the disciples of the real king, Jingshu, speaking of which, Jingsu and Wuzhua are of the same generation. They are all disciples of the realm king. The difference is so much. A seven tribulations realm, a demigod. The Lord of the Nine Tribulations realm universe cannot become a demigod after reaching the limit. He not only needs chance, but also his own perseverance. Practitioners who reach demigods are actually not weak to those true gods of space and time. Of course, it is not weak in combat power. For example, after Danbao created and perfected the secret method of life, he cultivated the divine power of life and transformed it into the divine power of life, which might be the combat power of a demigod. The relationship between status and combat power is actually not that big. It's just that it's much more convenient than a cultivator to cultivate. A of time and space like the realm king has a natural cultivation physique, as well as infinite opportunities and treasures, but no one can predict how far he can go. Just like the northern realm king, it can be said to be the bottom of the 5 realm kings. The deity is gone. Otherwise, it will not be ridden by the powerful outsiders from all sides. Except death. As the true in the starry sky, Miexing is on the same level as the realm king, and the key Miexing has existed for much longer than the realm king. When the starry sky first came into being, there were no 4 subordinate time spaces, let alone the world continent. At that time, death was born. After the power of death was cultivated to perfection, the power of death was cultivated to its peak. The combat power of this deity probably surpasses that of the demigods among the practitioners. Above the practitioners, only the gods of the same kind of starry sky can be comparable to the extinction of life. When Hui Qing saw the world king appear, he woke up with a start. Shenglu was actually the world king. The method he deduced to break the game also made sense because it was related to time. Since there were soldiers on the way, it naturally took time to wait. Now that the realm king is here, the key to breaking the game has arrived. Senior Jiawang. Jian Wushuang was very happy when he saw Jiawang appearing. He had no choice but to rely on Jiawang to save him. Mainly Beirut has the domain of God, otherwise he can still fight. Now that the deity of Beirut, coupled with the midstream time and space swallowed by God's domain, may have reached an astonishing level of divine power. No matter how strong he and Hui Qing are, it is difficult to defeat each other. The Realm King pressed his hand and said indifferently, "I'll explain to you later, let's clean up this little guy first." Coming with Jingshu, the Realm King naturally has confidence. If it was other demigod powerhouses, he might still be worried, but Jingshu was a disciple of the Great Realm King, and he had received an explanation from the Great Realm King, so he naturally had a trump card against Beirut. "Clean me up." Beirut was stunned for a moment, as if he heard a big joke, and laughed wildly. "Just because you are a real king without a deity, you also want to clean up me." The Realm King suddenly appeared. He was indeed a little surprised because he blocked the time and space. The other party was able to forcefully enter. It was indeed a little strange. This is his realm of the gods. Logically speaking, he is a god. But I didn't expect the Realm King to come in. Even if the Realm King is the master of the northern time and space, it is impossible to break his domain. Holy area. Controlling the mysterious realm of the entire year. Being able to make the life within the range, not bound by the divine power of life, can be maximized, and this ability is beyond the scope of the Realm King. It also reflects the special nature of God's domain. This is the strength of Beirut. After the Realm King lost his deity, he lost his so-called dignity. He was ridiculed by someone who didn't even have the origin of the robbery. He turned around slowly and looked at Jingsu. Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing also turned their attention to the person behind the king. The stinky boy? Beirut was calm and disdainful on the surface, but he was also thinking about the other party in his heart. It must be unusual to be able to make the king of the northern realm so confident. In his divine realm, he couldn't see the details of the opponent, but felt that the power was very similar to the peak period. Jian Wushuang also looked at it carefully and found nothing special. So he turned his head to look at Hui Qing and asked by voice transmission, "This person should not be a strong man in our northern time and space, but I don't know what his strength is. He is no match for Beirut." Not an opponent? He was a little surprised. He didn't expect Hui Qing to say it so directly, so he asked, "What did you see?" Hui Qing shook his head and replied, "Intuition. Intuition tells me that the opponent is not Beirut's opponent. There should be some kind of treasure to restrain Beirut, but I still don't like him. The god's domain of Nian mysterious realm is the most special I have ever seen." Treasure. Chapter 6057. This kind of deduction is not accurate, and usually Hui Qing will not say it easily. But this time with such decisiveness, Jian Wushuang was a little surprised. And at the same time he didn't dare to relax his vigilance. In fact, what Hui Qing said was right. The special features of God's domain were obvious to all. It can isolate the life level of the northern time and space. In the realm of the gods, it is a miniature world continent. Without any restraints, it is the realm of the gods. It is similar to the universe sea of Wanlu Shenmu. It's just that no one can control Wanlu. Beirut can control the realm of the gods and use it as its own source. Power is absolutely beyond their imagination. Be careful, the situation is not right, it's better for us to escape. Jian Wushuang quietly transmitted his voice, and his figure retreated behind the Realm King. Prepare to watch. No, if we include us, there is still a chance. Hui Qing's eyes showed fighting intent, his fists clenched. Jian Wushuang is a little unclear. Therefore, in this situation, how he can make a shot is a problem. He can't attack Beirut at all. With the two of them, he can at most let the other party make one more shot. Is it difficult? Who is Jingshu to use as a shield? Hui Qing turned his head to stare at him, and said in his heart, "Brother Wushuang, although this god realm is special, we are also in it. It is not as simple as the Origin Dojo. If it is so, we will not have any chance. But God Realm one thing is different from Yuanyuan Dojo, because we can also be unfettered here. But this point, the other party can control it." Jian Wushuang immediately retorted, Beirut could easily block Hui Qing's own attack earlier. Reduced Hui Qing's divine power and increased himself. If he could really be omnipotent in the realm of the gods, I am afraid he would have absorbed all the details of the middle reaches of time and space, but he did not do so, but created those wild beasts. I guess Beirut's dilapidated body simply carry the if we don't know the foundation of the middle reaches of time and space, this is our chance. Huiqing continued to explain. As long as we explode our divine power, rush into the abyss, use our divine power and source to the fullest, and continue to devour the divine realm, the burden on Beirut will increase. Why didn't I think of it? Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed, but he didn't think of such a simple truth. In this way, with the divine powers of him and Huiqing, they can bring infinite power to the abyss. He didn't know how much Huiqing's background was, but in his source starry sky, there was infinite power. Now that the three universes have been consummated, they are no less than the tributaries of time and space in the middle reaches. Space-time is higher than the universe. But it also depends on what kind of universe it is, and what kind of time and space it is. If it is the tributaries of the last swim, the time is extremely disordered, and the space is not as big as the universe. It can't be compared with Jian Wushuang's perfect universe at all. Not even these long rivers of time and space in the middle reaches of time and space. His perfect universe is comparable to these tributaries. The three perfect universes exploded together, allowing the abyss to devour casually, which is comparable to the entire middle reaches of time and space. Huiqing's deity may not have enough background, but he will definitely not be weak in the future. The two really have a chance to fill this abyss. Now it is time to wait for the powerhouse brought by the Realm King to take action. Jian Wushuang, don't be afraid, you can solve it immediately. The king raised his head, very confident, and said to Jing Su, do it, hum. The breath that shook the realm of the gods rose instantly. Jinx's thin body instantly turned into 1,000,000 miles in size, like an demon, and his face became hideous. Jian Wushuang couldn't help but exclaimed, is he not a human race? Ha! The king introduced from the side, junior nephew Jingshu, but the powerhouse of the Cayman clan in the starry sky is not the powerhouse of the human race, but don't underestimate him, he is stronger than the one you encountered at the beginning. Qi Jiuxiao will be terrifying. This does not need to be said by the Realm King, he can also see it. Qi Jiuxiao's original breath, he can at least calculate how much divine power he has. But after Jing Su burst out with such a terrifying aura, he couldn't even see through it. It is definitely an existence that surpasses 30 million divine powers. The incomparably majestic Jingshu with 6 arms, each holding a broken spear, roared, Beirut, I am under the order of the great realm king to take your life. The king of the great realm? Beirut waved the ruined blade in his hand without any fear, and said coldly, then let the horses come over. As soon as the words fell, his figure also turned into 1,000,000 miles in size, and his divine power also reached more than 30 million. Has returned to its former peak. Demigod pose. The battle between the two sides can be said to be simple, and there is no difference, but the power of each blow is so pure. Has reached the end of the practitioner. Jian Wushuang was on the side and couldn't help but exclaimed, it's not a demigod. The purity of this power is almost the same as that of a true god. The power of true god. In fact, the way is the same. For example, the life force possessed by Jian Wushuang, Danbao also has it, and it is stronger than Jian Wushuang's. In the northern time and space, Danbao's life force is the sky. The true consummation, the strongest life force. The life force that Jian Wushuang used, although it also came from his star source, was not as good as Danbao. Because he is not God. Right now, the battle between Jingshu and Beirut, the power of divine power and destruction, has reached the realm of gods. The realm king kneaded his beard and commented, Tisktie, in fact, there is still some gap. Demigod. Only a demigod after all. Saying it is God is really just a title. That is to say, some practitioners who have reached perfection in their practice are nothing more than practitioners. It is already the end of the cultivation path, and the true God is ahead. But the divine position is limited. To break these boundaries is like breaking the supreme rule. Lord Realm King, What's the difference between this demigod and the original title demigod? Jian Wushuang didn't understand. He also heard from Dan Bao that he could help them become demigods. It was only at that time that thought it was just a title, and it was no big deal. It was better to go your own way, so I didn't know much about it, but now I regret it after seeing the demigod powerhouse take action. In the fight between Jingshu and Beirut, there will be no winner or loser for a while. There was nothing else to do anyway, so he started explaining the path of practitioners to Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing. You all know the general realm of cultivators. From ordinary people to so-called immortals, the Tao of comprehension is merged into the origin and entered into the emperor, and then the master of the universe, the realm of robbery. If you divide it carefully, in fact, each space-time and even each universe is different. But it is very simple to say it from the king. The mortal realm, according to Jian Wushuang's original cultivation route, is below Yanxian. Then there is the emperor. Chapter 6058. At the time of Desiyu, relying on Zhen Weiyang's half-knowledge, he once told him that he was able to become an emperor because of luck. In fact, this statement is rather general. After all, how many emperors were there at that time? Desiyu is even less than 1/10,000th of the original universe. Knowledge is naturally small. It was only later that I realized what it meant. What is the emperor? After arriving at the 9 worlds, Jian Wushuang also understood the Lord of the Universe. Now he is the master of the 7 tribulations realm universe. In fact, the Lord of the Universe has no division. It is the title of the Lord of the Universe. But the realm is carefully divided, and it must be seen from the number of tribulations. 9 kalpas are consummation. The more tribulations, the stronger. The Lord of the Universe, it can be said, has reached the limit of this world. The starry sky gave birth to a river, forming a long river of time and space, and there are 4 subsidiary time and space. In the long river of time and space, those primitive universes have been conceived. The emperor has mastered the universe and is the master of the universe. According to this calculation, the master of time and space is the master of time and space. Speaking of which, the realm of the realm king is the master of time and space. Mastering a time and space, isn't it a god? But this has nothing to do with practitioners. Because practitioners simply cannot control time and space. Those assumptions were wrong. The Lord of the Universe, is it the end? Jian Wushuang looked up at the fight above the abyss. The existence of the 2 demigods was also at the level of the master of the universe. The combat power has actually surpassed the god of time and space. For example, after Dan Bao mastered the immortal temple, the battle power that erupted was at this level. It would be boring if this were the end. Thinking of this, he felt a little disappointed in his heart. For a long time, I was always thinking about the day when I would reach the top. Success again and again, again and again. Now that it has come to an end, it is somewhat unaccustomed. The Realm King smiled lightly. Yes, no. You'd better say it directly. Jian Wushuang felt a little disappointed, and the king of the realm was still thinking about selling out, so he couldn't help but say, the path of cultivation is the path of practitioners, and maybe you don't need someone else's plan, you can come out yourself. Ha, I am very pleased that you have this ambition. The realm king did not hide it, and said directly, there is actually a realm above the Lord of the Universe, or it is not a very certain realm, but there are many people who have reached it. However, that is a realm that has gotten rid of the supreme rules. After Hui Qing heard it, he was not surprised, but said calmly, God of the Universe? God of the Universe. This time, the Real King was very surprised, but after thinking about it, he knew why Hui Qing knew. Which goddess told you? Hui Qing nodded and admitted, but didn't say much. Jian Wushuang was aroused by the interest and asked, what is the difference between the God of the Universe and the Lord of the Universe, just to get rid of the supreme rules? If this is the case, then it is very similar to what he thought at first. No wonder the existence of the peak Lord of the Universe follows the route of divine power. I'm afraid it's also in order not to break or stand, to break the supreme rule. The position of God is not appointed, but obtained by virtue of its own strength. Literally, it is lower than the of time and space, stronger than the Lord of the universe, but the combat power of the universe is not as simple as that of the god. So what? The gods are too single, and the combat power is also very single, so I want to merge life and replace the position of the of reincarnation. The king said it was helpless. In fact, the gods have reached the peak, so why bother to pursue those extremes combat power? Jian Wushuang understood this time. Under the starry sky, what surpasses practitioners is always the throne. The of the stars, the of space and time. These positions were personally selected by the supreme rules. For example, the god of life in northern time and space was selected and cultivated by the realm king. Danbao is the of time and space. In addition to the god of time and space, there is also the king of realms. In fact, it is reasonable to say that the power of the realm king is not single. It can be said to be all-powerful, but unfortunately the deity of the northern realm king has long since fallen, otherwise it would not be a bit of a threat, and he needs to find helpers everywhere. God of the stars. In fact, it is no different from the god of time and space, but the place where the two are located is different. The starry sky is naturally stronger than the time and space, so the extinction will look down on the gods in the space and time. God of the universe. It sounds relatively low level, but the combat power can surpass the god of the starry sky. Because practitioners get rid of the shackles of the supreme rule, there is no upper limit. It is a symbol of power and combat power. But it is also a cage because once you step on it, you can never escape. Destroying life does not hesitate to travel through time and space in order to break the cage and go further. The throne of God has dominion, but also has a bound destiny. The God of the universe is different. It has no upper limit. Jian Wushuang was a little excited to hear it. This is the way he pursues, the way to go. Non-existent. Everyone has their own end, and his end is beyond everyone. Become the strongest. That's the end. My path, only I am the master. The realm king also saw Jian Wushuang's ambition. His expression moved slightly, and he secretly said, maybe he can become the of the universe. After all, even Weiss is very optimistic about Jian Wushuang, and he has no reason not to be optimistic. From the performance point of view, Jian Wushuang is the most potential cultivator in the entire northern time and space. As a realm king, his vision is high, and he is proficient in all ways, able to penetrate everything. On Jian Wushuang, he saw an unprecedented cultivation path. This is already the premise of breaking through the supreme rules. Hui Qing, let's get ready. After understanding the route of the Lord of the universe, he did not underestimate himself or fantasize about anything, but he must take every step at the moment. The appearance of Beirut gave him a new understanding of the divine position. The other party controls the realm of the gods, and even the source of the attached time and space can be swallowed, which is worth it. To endanger the origin of the northern time and space is to threaten themselves. The background of the northern time and space is linked to them. In case the northern time and space is broken, let alone becoming the nine tribulations realm, it is impossible to maintain the status quo. So Beirut must die. Fortunately, they discovered each other's strangeness at the beginning. Hui Qing mastered the way of heaven and considered it for a long time, so he insisted on staying. After hearing Jian Wushuang's words, he also prepared a little, ready to take action at any time. At this time, in the sky above the abyss, Jingshu has firmly gained the upper hand and has been pressing Beirut to fight. If it hadn't been for Beirut to have the power of destruction supplemented in the abyss, it would have been killed long ago. What? The spear is like a new moon, piercing everything. Jingshu, who is a majestic and demon, holds 6 broken spears and attacks frantically, piercing through Beirut's divine body once, but he has no choice but to kill the opponent. Chapter 6059. Although Beirut has been beaten all the time, he did not panic, but said disdainfully, come on. I think it's because you have more divine power, or more ruin power in the realm of the gods. He has absolute confidence. Although Jinx's divine body is powerful, It can't stand such consumption. But he can add infinitely. That is immortality. Arrogant. Jing Su snorted coldly, the 6 arms skyrocketed again, and the divine power also touched the limit of the Lord of the Universe again and again. If it weren't for the gods who raised their heads and suppressed his divine power, they would have broken through the supreme rules long ago. The boundary of the northern time and space is the 9 tribulations realm. The world god continent. It is said that the god world has no boundaries, but it is still governed by the supreme rules, and it is impossible to break through to the limit. Only after becoming a cosmic can you do it. Jinx's strength is very strong, and he is the top existence among the demigods, and can be ranked in the top 10 of the world continent. However, compared with the real god of the universe, it is still far worse. Even if it erupts again, rises to its peak state, and smashes Beirut's divine body, it is still impossible to kill the opponent at one time. At its peak, Beirut was also a demigod. Now it has fully recovered, and it is much stronger than before. It can be said that the same level is the body of immortality. Cosmic God does not appear, and almost no one can kill him. It is too difficult to kill a peak demigod powerhouse with one blow. Maybe there is such a strong person in the starry sky, but the real king cannot invite him. That kind of super strong will not care about the life and death of the attached time and space. The subsidiary time and space was originally a barren world. If it wasn't for a big man in the starry sky speaking, the 4 subsidiary time and space would not even be born. Therefore, in the starry sky, the existence of subsidiary time and space is very low. The practitioners of time and space often mention the 4 subordinate time and space. This is also the reason why Myeshing dares to travel through time and space so unscrupulously, entering the subordinate time and space to intercept the of time and space. Because they are not afraid at all. In their eyes, the Realm King is nothing. The Realm King manages the subordinate time and space, and it has nothing to do with them. Unless it is a Realm King whose own combat power and strength are strong, he can get some respect. It's a pity that the deity of the Northern Realm King has fallen, so there is still fighting power. In the eyes of the powerhouses in the starry sky, they are just trash. No one looks down on it. This is also the sadness of the King of the Northern Realm. In fact, think about it, he is also a tragic figure. He not only wants to develop the northern time and space, but also protect the northern time and space from being persecuted by the powerhouses of different time and space. No wonder it's not easy. Lord Realm King, this time, let me come. Jian Wushuang chanted silently in his heart, his breath burst out suddenly, and he shouted angrily, "It's now, enter the abyss." Swish. Without waiting for the real king to react, he and Hui Qing disappeared in an instant, and they reappeared in the abyss. Hui Qing took the lead, pointed to the bottom of the abyss and said, "The source of the swallowing of the gods is right below. We must get close." Okay. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate, and even rushed down. Only then did the Real King outside the abyss react, and found that Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing had both gone to the abyss, and quickly asked by voice transmission, "You guys are crazy, that is the core of the abyss, you 2 little guys go in, and there will be no bones left. Come down." The Realm King is a little anxious. Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing are both practitioners with great potential in his northern time and space. In the future, the bearers of the northern time and space cannot fall because of the powerhouses in different time and space. If he fell because of this, it would be a huge loss and his fault. Jing Su, don't hold back, kill Beirut. He couldn't even stop him, so he could only hope that Jing Su would kill Beirut faster. Jing Shu, who originally wanted to test it out, also found out that Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing had entered the abyss after hearing the words of the Northern Realm King. He didn't understand, but he didn't think much about it. The body of the gods and demons disappeared in an instant, returning to the appearance of a child, and a small obtuse-angled tower was added to his hands. Holding the tower with one hand, his face is serious. Aurora Tower. Seeing the small tower in Jinx's hands, both the Realm King and Beirut couldn't help exclaiming, "The prestige of this treasure is too great." That breath made all cultivators tremble. Even the Realm King couldn't help shrinking his neck. Beirut, who was still indifferent at first, was even more frightened and hurried back, and did not have the heart to pay attention to Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing, who entered the abyss. Although he didn't know what the two wanted to do, he couldn't threaten him either. Not even a threat to the abyss. He doesn't care about devouring the origin of two more practitioners. On the contrary, the Aurora Tower was too much of a threat to him. Even if he has God's domain now, he doesn't dare to be careless. I didn't expect that in order to deal with me, the great realm king even lent you the Aurora Tower. Beirut frowned, but privately he was sending a voice transmission to the super-existence who supported him. Although the super powerhouses in the starry sky do not look down on these realm kings. But the great realm king is the same. In the entire world god continent, there are super-existences that can rank in the top 3. In addition to the realm king god, the 4 subordinate time and space, plus the realm god continent, belonged to the great realm king with the highest status. Above the 4 world kings, the key is that his deity is also extremely powerful. He once killed a cosmic in the starry sky. This is the Aurora Tower. One-hit kill. From then on, the of war. In the past, the image of the great realm king was gentle, modest, not fighting or robbing, and everything went with the flow. But such a good man also has moments of anger. Back then, the realm god continent gave birth to a starry sky-level secret realm, which attracted the superpowers in the starry sky to come and explore. Among them are the digital universe gods. These cosmic gods, looking down on the gods of space and time, blocked the secret realm of the starry sky in the world of the gods, and only the strong in the starry sky can explore. This move angered the powerhouses of the world god continent, and the 4 great spacetimes very dissatisfied, but no one dared to refute it. Because there are very few cosmic gods on the world god continent, and their strength is not enough. Many cosmic gods on the world god continent are all from the starry sky. Anyway, they did not harm their interests, and they would not stand up for justice. In fact, at this time, the great realm king and the other 4 realm kings did not take action. There is no way, is not strong enough, no one can blame others. But those cosmic gods in the starry sky are getting more and more excessive. Not only did he occupy the secret realm of the starry sky that was bred in the world god continent, but he also went to some sect forces in the world god continent. The rebels were all overthrown and everything was suppressed. Extremely arrogant. At that time, the young king of the northern realm couldn't stand it any longer, and he took the initiative to drive away the few universe gods from the starry sky. But his strength is not enough. In the northern time and space, it is the latest to be conceived, and the strength of the northern realm king is the worst. In terms of combat power, it is at most comparable to the god of the universe. But he has to face the god of the universe who has broken through an unknown number of eras in the digital starry sky. Chapter 6060? There is no upper limit, the universe is the most terrifying. The king of the northern realm was still too young, and he felt that the other party would not dare to kill him no matter how much. Unexpectedly, the source of time and space was directly abolished by the other party, and the body of the deity was smashed. Only one will was left for him. He can still manage the northern time and space, but he can't cultivate. It is because of this incident that the great realm king broke out completely. Exhausted with a single shot, to avenge the king of the northern realm. With one hand, the Aurora Pagoda was able to kill the space-time god who destroyed the northern realm king. There are also other participating universe gods, all of which have been smashed to their origins. It was precisely because of this battle that the entire starry sky was shocked. Those cosmic gods will no longer dare to come to the world continent to be arrogant. Even if he went to the world god continent, he was extremely low-key. When the king of the northern realm saw the Aurora Tower, he couldn't help but recall the time when he burst into tears. Nothing can go back. After the deity is gone, he is depressed and unhappy. Later, the great realm king promised that after his northern time and space were completely stabilized and enough cosmic gods were born, he would ask the realm king to intercede and give him a new deity. Ugh! The king of the northern realm couldn't help sighing. That is, since then, the great realm king has taken more care of him. The Wanlu Shenmu was also obtained from Weiss, just to improve the life level of the northern time and space, so that the northern time and space can be born into the Nine Tribulations realm as soon as possible. With the Nine Tribulations realm, the subsequent promotion will be able to give birth to the God of the universe. The Realm King has also been working hard for this promise. It can be said to be disabled. Unfortunately, he, a Realm King without his deity, still ran into walls everywhere and was bullied by the powerhouses in different time and space. Now it is going to destroy his northern time and space. He could only ask the Great Realm King for help. Unexpectedly, this time, the Great Realm King also worked so hard and directly handed the Aurora Pagoda to his personal disciple Jingxiu to help him tide over the difficulties. Although the Great Realm King's combat power is very strong. But in the starry sky, or in the realm of the gods, there are still some strong people he fears, such as the existence behind Beirut. This is also the reason why the Great Realm King did not take action and let his disciples come. The Aurora Tower is enough. No wonder you are so confident. Beirut couldn't help but take a half step back, stood above the abyss, and said, "But even so, what can you do?" Jing Su was stunned for a moment. "How? Is it possible you really want to kill me?" Beirut sneered. "Tisk hihe, you will understand after a while." The king of the northern realms suddenly thought of something at this time, and his expression became embarrassed. The power of ruin I devoured is almost enough, and now I can get out of my body." Beirut turned his head and glanced at the king of the northern realm and mocked. "This time it's your luck, I'll take it first. Halfway through, sooner or later, you will be swallowed up in the northern time and space, and all the people will be killed." Seeing the other party's arrogant expression, the Realm King was helpless. Because just now the Great Realm King has sent him a voice transmission and wants to let Beirut go. No way, the other party's background is too strong. Even the Great Realm King has to compromise. Jing Su let him go. The king's face was a little embarrassed. He turned his head and glanced at Beirut again, and said coldly, "However, before leaving, let the two practitioners in the abyss out." The corners of Beirut's mouth rose, and only then did he think that two stupid practitioners had entered the abyss. The two masters of the universe are nothing more than two cosmos masters. Although the supernatural power of more than 20 million has erupted before, there is no threat. This face, he cannot give it. "What if I don't let it go?" Beirut said jokingly, "Not only will they die, but I will also kill all the practitioners in the middle reaches of the time and space. These are considered interest." King Gu Yenjie clenched his fists tightly, his expression extremely gloomy. He couldn't do anything. It was torture for him. Beirut saw that the King of Realm was extremely uncomfortable, but he leaked a smile. The more painful the opponent, the more excited he is. Jingxiu stood on the side at a loss. Originally, the master ordered him to follow the King of the Northern Realm to kill Beirut, but now he wants to let the other party go. Moreover, Beirut's extremely arrogant character made him very uncomfortable. At this time, I couldn't help but ask through voice transmission, "Master, why do you want to let Beirut go? Give me 3 breaths, and I will be able to kill the opponent." World God Continent, magnificent. To say that it is a continent is more like an extremely perfect world. It is not space-time, nor is it the universe. Heaven and earth, vast territory. Just one side of the world. But it can transcend time and space. This is the World God Continent created by the World King God. The location of Nantianfu is located in a star field in the south of the World God Continent. It is said that it is a star field, but it is actually a cosmic sea connected by countless universes. There are countless universes here, all of which are the origin universe of the Lord of the Universe. One of the incomparably dazzling universes is clearly called the Chaotic Origin Universe. It is the most dazzling universe in the entire star field, because its owner is a cosmic god. He is already a cosmic god, and the original universe can be included in the body of the for a long time, but the master of the universe has not done so, so he said that the original universe can be placed here at will. This is to have absolute confidence, and you don't need to take the source dojo with you when you go out. and its owner does have this strength. Looking at the entire world god continent, it is almost invincible. Even in the starry sky, there are few opponents. It is the strongest practitioner who has appeared in the 4 dimensions of time and space. He is also the successor of the future Kaiwang god. Zama's, the universe from the southern time and space. It is also the pride of the south dimension. Because a super existence appeared in the time and space under his control, and he was also a future realm king, which made the realm king in the southern time and space extremely proud. It is like a world with the king of the northern realm. A cosmic who came out of time and space, but let the great realm king visit in person. It is conceivable that the opponent's strength and background are beyond the realm king. Even the realm gods attach great importance to it. It is also rare for the great realm king to came to visit and intercede. In the depths of the chaotic origin universe, in a simple wooden courtyard, the great realm king and Zamasi were sitting on the ground, drinking tea. Zamas. The great realm king's expression softened and said, "Your strength is getting stronger and stronger now, and it is a sure thing to become a realm in the future. Why do you have to target a small northern dimension?" He really couldn't understand. Zamasu, the proud son of the sky, the future king of the gods, has monstrous power and monstrous power. He had the support of the old realm king, but he went to calculate the northern time and space several times. The metal life in Wanlu Shenmu was once, and the death was also related to him, and then it was Beirut now. The material and human resources invested are too much. However, these people are still interested in the northern time and space. Those who are not interested, Zamas will still create interest. It can be said that he has taken great pains. Chapter 60-61. If Wanlu Shenmu is a coincidence, then it is a conspiracy to attract Mieshing to the northern time and space. Arranging Beirut to enter the northern time and space, and refining a god's domain, this is naked persecution. Every time, he is ruthless, trying to completely destroy the life of the entire northern time and space. Zamas also has a sense of proportion. He knows the existence of the subsidiary time and space to maintain the stability of the starry sky. He does not dare to destroy the entire northern time and space, but destroying the entire northern time and space of the human race has no worries. There is only the great realm king who protects the northern time and space, and he will be offended. Senior Jaiwang's words are a bit too arbitrary. Zamas looked up at the great realm king. "You can help the king of the northern realm, and I will naturally help my friends. Destiny wants to go further. I just gave some pointers. He deserved to be wiped out by Lord Weiss. It has nothing to do with me. The matter of Wanlu Shenmu was indeed arranged by me, but you must also know that Wanlu Shenmu has been out for many years. Arranging a friend to enter the competition for the opportunity is also normal, and Lord Weiss didn't stop it. The only thing that makes Zamas afraid is Protoss. Weiss is a 12-star spirit. Although the title is similar to that of the Kaiwang god, the combat power is too terrifying, and the Kaiwang god is not an opponent. He should be respectful when he sees him. What about Beirut? The great realm king frowned slightly. The divine realm you refined is so precious. If you really need to devour the origin, you can devour the secret realm. Why devour the origin of the northern time and space? Zamas took a deep breath and said indifferently, "As I said, it's just to help my friends. As for God's domain, although it's a little special, for me, it's just ordinary. I'll give it away, and persecuting northern time and space is not a problem. Come on, it's just that Beirut just needs the origin of the northern time and space." He picked it clean for himself. Don't ask is to help. It has nothing to do with him. The Northern Realm King made sacrifices for the Realm God continent at the beginning. I don't want you to do things like that. This time I will give the Realm King God face. Don't do it again. The great Realm King drank it and finished drinking. After drinking tea, I got up and left. Zamas raised his eyelids, rolled his eyes, and said strangely, "Do you mean to do something to me next time?" "You can think so." The great Realm King stopped and turned his head slowly, with killing intent in his eyes. "I don't know what the Lord Realm King thinks. Why did he choose you as the next Realm King? But before you become a realm god, you are not qualified to stick your hands that far. Ha! Zamas couldn't help laughing, then stood up slowly, provocatively said, "Actually, I never believed that your strength would be so strong. Now that the Aurora Tower is gone, I don't know what is left." "How much?" The great realm king's expression changed and he sneered, "You can try, hum." The chaotic origin universe exploded in an instant. The two super beings standing at the top of the spacetime and the starry sky made their move brazenly. The strength of the two erupted is similar, but Zama's is a little more ferocious. The great realm king has a profound background. That's it for today. Zama's expression became more and more embarrassed, and he fell into the disadvantage of fighting a few tricks. This is still the great realm king without the Aurora Tower. If there is the Aurora Tower, I am afraid they can kill him. It was a test. Neither of them will kill. But just now Zama's has already used 90% of his combat power, and he is still not an opponent. However, the great realm king wanted to take this opportunity to teach Zama's a lesson. Before he stopped, he shot out an air wave with all his strength, and a dazzling beam of light burst out, piercing the entire chaotic origin universe. Zama's felt a huge threat. Facing that air wave, an evil aura leaked from his eyes, and his strength began to soar. The green skin bursts directly. The whole person seemed to have changed. He raised his hand and sprinted, directly hitting the beam of light emitted by the great realm king back. When the great realm king felt the evil aura, his face sank, but he was only stunned for a moment, but the beam of light he just shot came to him. He could only block his eyes with his arms crossed and forcibly block it. "Your power is a little strange," Zamas said disdainfully. "Strange? It's not your turn to question." "I couldn't help but burst out just now, but it was discovered by the other party. If he uses that power, he should be able to take down the current great realm king. It is a pity that this is the world god continent, and he is not yet the world king god. Killing a great realm king is too passive for him." He also endured the killing intent. The great realm king stared at Zamas. "He'll keep an eye on you." Saying that, he pointed to his eyes with his fingers. Then it disappeared directly into the chaotic origin universe. "I don't know how to live or die," Zamas sneered. "When I become the Kaiwang god, when you fall, the Aurora Tower will also be mine." The fight between Zamasu and the great realm king is a contest between the two in the northern time and space. The two of them stopped. The great realm king also informed the northern realm king and his disciple Jing Su through voice transmission that Beirut could leave. At this time, Jing Zu's voice transmission asked, and he didn't know how to answer, so he could only sigh. "Forget it, let him go." Although Jingshu was unwilling, he did not dare to disobey the master's order. As for the king of the northern realm, this time he has already troubled the king of the great realm, and it is not good for him to make more demands. I can only pray silently in my heart, "Jian Wushuang, don't you fall so easily," in the abyss. Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing have already entered the depths, and they don't know that the outside world has stopped. Moreover, Zamasu and the great realm king behind him also chose to settle down, which means that the crisis this time has been lifted. If Jian Wushuang and the others knew at this time, Jian Wushuang might retreat. After all, there is no danger anymore, so what are you fighting for? Hui Qing, why is there no movement outside? The abyss is still running, Beirut has not stopped, I'm afraid. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed, and he exclaimed, "You are accurate, Jingshu really hasn't won Beirut. It seems that you still have to rely on yourself outside. Let's start." Hui Qing opened his hands, and the terrifying divine power began to erupt. This place is the source of devouring the abyss. They will release all sources, let the abyss reach its limit, and kill Beirut. Don't you like to devour? Then let the other party devour it for fun. At the Qi Temple, Jian Wushuang also devoured countless people. Most understand the disadvantages of devouring. Once you reach the limit, you must stop. Otherwise, the divine body and the source will burst. Super eternal change. Jian Wushuang crossed his arms and raised it suddenly. His divine power surpassed 20 million. This place is an abyss, and there is still no bondage. Coupled with his own origin dojo, the divine power has been directly raised to the limit. Chapter 60-61 Great Realm King vs. Zamas. Chapter 60-62 Reach 25 million. The origins of the three perfect universes also erupted with infinite origin power, and they continued to enter the abyss to devour origins. Feeling the source of the active approach, the abyss began to devour frantically. This is simply delicious for it. Above the abyss, Beirut was stunned. He hadn't taken the initiative to swallow Jian Wushuang. He didn't expect these two fools to reveal their origins and be swallowed by standing. Send it to your own death? He couldn't help but leak a smile on his face and sneered at the Realm King. This time, don't say I don't give you face, they took the initiative to die, I think. Before the words were finished, Beirut's smile solidified on his face. The body is also expanding uncontrollably at this moment. The Realm King was stunned when he saw it, not knowing why. But he could see that Beirut's divine power was constantly rising, and he had already touched the god of the universe. In an instant, the divine power doubled, making Beirut bigger in size. How is this possible? Beirut's eyes were unbelievable, unable to believe the power he had just swallowed and absorbed. In just an instant, cracks appeared in his divine body. Jingshu saw the problem at this time, pointed to Beirut with one hand and covered his stomach with the other, and laughed. Don't you like to eat? This time it seems that you have eaten enough. It's Jian Wushuang. The Realm King also reacted, revealing a happy expression. Beirut, this time it's your turn to be unlucky. The divine body was integrated with the source of devouring in the abyss, and Beirut could only be forced to absorb a steady stream of power, and his complexion had turned purple. Apparently it's the limit. Swish. His figure flashed and he entered the abyss directly. I want to kill Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing. Damn you! Beirut shouted frantically, and holding it with one hand was a ball of colorful light, which was constantly thrown into the abyss. Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing in the abyss hurriedly avoided, and those attacks all fell into the source of devouring, and finally fed back to Beirut. Let his divine body burst even more seriously. Jian Wushuang sneered and looked up at Beirut, who was embarrassed. Don't waste your time. If you really kill me, my source will be directly integrated into the source of devouring, and then you will die. I'm afraid that I won't make a move. I'm afraid I will fall too. Beirut's words were almost out of words, and he no longer had the strength to attack. Although he has infinite power, he is now like a non-expanding universe. He has divine power, but he can't use it, because all his power is suppressed and he dare not use it. As long as one is not careful, his expanding universe will explode. Beirut, who had no choice, could only send Zamas to ask for help. How long can you last? Jian Wushuang stared at each other with indifferent eyes, releasing the power in the source again to feed and devour the source. Hui Qing also exerted his future body to the limit, and he was about to plunge into the source of devouring. Ah! Beirut was completely crazy, and he absorbed more power in the abyss, and he couldn't stop it at all. He could only escape from the abyss. The Realm King, who was still a little worried, also breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Beirut flying out of the abyss. In the abyss, Hui Qing looked at Jian Wushuang and said, Brother Wushuang, Beirut has lost its defense ability, and now it's a fire to go out to fight? Good. This time, Jian Wushuang folded his hands together, wrapped Hui Qing with his mind power, and used the time and space shuttle to forcefully leave the abyss. Swish. Appeared again and had reached the top of the abyss. Clang. Wan Jie pulled out. The blue blade pointed to Beirut. Today, you must die. He wants to kill Beirut. At this time, Beirut was completely panicked. The Realm King has no deity and is no threat to him. Jingshu is a man of the Realm King, and the Realm King and Zamasu have obviously stopped and will not shoot at him. But Jian Wushuang wants to kill him. Who can stop him? A native practitioner from the northern time and space, killing the threat of different time and space. Heaven is not in him. You can't kill me. Beirut stepped back frantically and threatened, I am from Zamas. If you kill me and go to the world god continent, you will no longer have a safe place to live. Jian Wushuang took this as a deaf ear and didn't care at all. Does he have few enemies? Metal Life had threatened him like this at the beginning, but what happened later? The threat has not been seen for the time being, but after listening to the King of Realm, he was also taken to the Realm God continent. There is also the threat of Shilu, also in the world of gods. What is he to be afraid of? Zamas? He has heard of it, but he is not afraid of it. Time and space. Reincarnation. Jian Wushuang shouted angrily one after another, and the myriad tribulations sword erupted with an extremely terrifying sword cry. Drink blood. At this moment, his sword of myriad tribulations has an incomparable desire. Thirst for the taste of blood. His killing intent has also reached its peak. Today, even if the King of Heaven is here, I can't stop him. The sword shadow followed the tip of the sword and shot straight into the sky. Open time and space, cast reincarnation. A sword seals your past and present life, and there is no possibility of reincarnation. This is the reincarnation of time and space. The sword shadow covers the entire midstream time and space. This sword has already touched the level of Mahayana. The original entry level has been raised by 2 grades. That's the beauty of combat. It can always bring you some unexpected receipts, and the sudden breakthrough brings joy in Jian Wushuang's eyes. The sword shadow ripped apart time and space and rushed straight to Beirut. If it is Beirut at the peak, this sword can't kill the opponent. But Beirut, which has now swelled to the edge of the explosion, cannot be stopped at all, and a slight attack can make him fall. Zamas, save me. When Beirut was in despair, he could only shout the name of Zamas. Don't talk about Zamas, even if Weiss is here, I can't keep you. Jian Wushuang did not flinch, and his killing intent was high. The opponent must be eliminated. Although he doesn't care about threats in his mouth, he does care about threats in life. If you can eradicate it, and keep it to make trouble for yourself. So he didn't keep his hand when he came up, and he hit it with all his strength, just rushing to kill. Facing this sword in Beirut has no power to resist at all, so he can only send a voice transmission to Zamas in despair. If I fall, your divine realm will also fall into the northern time and space, and then the human race will be stronger. World God Continent. Originally, he didn't care much about Beirut's life or death, but after hearing Beirut's words, Zamas stood up. Rubbing the ring on his hand, he frowned, what a waste. The ring burst into a colorful light, and Zamasu's figure disappeared directly into the chaotic origin universe. At the same time, a colorful light appeared in the abyss time and space. A figure slowly rose from the abyss. The person here is Zamasu. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.